Rest now, dear heart. The way is already known in divine mind. Let the night come gently around you, not as darkness to be feared, but as a quiet sanctuary where the soul may cease its striving. Let the body grow still. Let the breath become soft. Let the hands release what they have tried to hold too tightly. Let the forehead smooth itself, and let the heart understand that it is not appointed to carry every question through the night. There is a wisdom greater than the mind that worries. There is an intelligence greater than the thought that circles and circles without rest. There is a way already known before the human eye can see the road. You do not need to solve tonight what infinite intelligence already knows how to arrange. Let that truth enter you slowly. You do not need to solve tonight what infinite intelligence already knows how to arrange. You do not need to force the door. You do not need to command the hour. You do not need to hold your desire with a trembling hand, as though if you loosened your grip for one moment, your good would vanish. What is yours by divine right is not kept alive by anxiety. It is held in divine mind. It is protected by divine law. It is guided by infinite spirit through the right channels, the right people, the right words, the right movements, and the right hour. Tonight is not for fear. This night is for faith. I speak now to the part of you that does not argue, but receives. I speak past the restless surface of the mind, past the part that measures, doubts, questions, compares, and tries to know tomorrow before tomorrow has come. I speak to the deeper place within you, the quiet place, the inward garden, the hidden chamber where the word sinks down and takes root. That place in you does not need to debate divine law. It can receive. It can be impressed by truth. It can be comforted. It can be instructed. It can be turned from fear to faith, from strain to rest, from confusion to divine order. Rest now, dear heart. The way is already known in divine mind. Perhaps you have come to this night with a desire upon your heart. Perhaps it is a desire for love, for peace, for money, for healing, for right work, for a home, for direction, for freedom, for reconciliation, for a door to open, for an old burden to dissolve, for a new life to begin. Perhaps you have carried this desire all day. Perhaps you have thought about it again and again, turning it over in the mind, as one turns a key in a door that does not open. Perhaps you have wondered, how shall it come? When shall it come? Through whom shall it come? What must I do? What if I fail? What if I am too late? What if the way is closed? But I say to you now, do not let the question become greater than God. Do not let the desire become a weight upon the soul. Do not let the human mind make a prison out of a thing that was meant to be placed under grace. The desire must be lifted out of fear and placed in divine order. The burden must be cast upon the Christ within. The question must be given to infinite intelligence. The seed must be planted, and then it must be allowed to work in silence. I cast this desire, this burden, this question upon the Christ within, and I go free. Say it gently within yourself. I cast this desire, this burden, this question upon the Christ within, and I go free, not partly free, not free after every visible sign appears, not free only when the door opens exactly as you imagined. Free now, because the burden was never meant to be carried by fear. Free now, because the Christ within bears what the anxious mind cannot. Free now, because infinite spirit is not confused by the thing that has confused you. Free now, because the way is already known in divine mind. The night is a sacred gate. It is not merely the ending of the day. It is the hour when the loud world grows quiet, when the senses soften, when the outward claims of life begin to release their hold, and the deeper mind becomes more receptive to the word. Many go into sleep carrying fear as their last companion. They lie down with worry as their pillow, and awaken with the same old burden, because they planted the same old seed. But tonight, you shall not give the night to fear. Tonight, you shall give the night to faith. This night is not for fear. This night is for faith. Let the final word before sleep be not. I do not know how. Let it be. Infinite intelligence knows the way. Let the final word be not. I am afraid it will not come. Let it be. What is mine by divine right comes under grace in perfect ways. Let the final word be not. I must hold this together. Let it be. I cast the burden upon the Christ within, and I go free. Let the final word be not. I am alone with this desire. Let it be. Infinite spirit goes before me and makes the crooked places straight. There is no confusion in infinite spirit. There is no anxiety in divine mind. There is no hurried fear in the law of good. Divine intelligence does not look upon your desire and say, I do not know what to do. Divine intelligence does not stand before the door and wonder which key belongs to it. Divine intelligence does not tremble before time, nor hesitate before circumstance, nor become bewildered by human appearances. The way that seems hidden to you is not hidden to God. The answer that seems distant to you is already complete in divine mind. The road that seems unformed to you is known by infinite wisdom. You may not know the way, but the way is known. Let that be enough for tonight. You may not know the way, but the way is known. You may not know the hour, but the hour is known. You may not know the person, but the person is known. You may not know the door, but the door is known. You may not know the exact form, but divine selection knows the form. You may not know the next action, but divine guidance knows the action. You may not know how your good shall come, but infinite intelligence knows how to bring it under grace in perfect ways. The human mind believes that if it stops thinking, the good will stop moving, but this is not true. The seed works in silence while you sleep. The seed does not need you to watch it anxiously through the night. The seed does not require your fear in order to grow. Once planted in the soil, it follows a law deeper than your watching. So it is with the word. When the right word is spoken in faith and placed in the deep mind, it begins its quiet work. You need not dig it up with doubt. You need not disturb it with impatience. You need not ask every hour whether it has sprouted. Speak the word. Bless the seed, and rest. The seed works in silence while I sleep. Let this become a comfort to you. The seed works in silence while I sleep. Divine law works in silence while I sleep. Infinite intelligence arranges in silence while I sleep. The right idea is prepared in silence while I sleep. The right door is selected in silence while I sleep. The right appointment is being arranged in silence while I sleep. The right way is being opened in silence while I sleep. You are not losing power when you sleep. You are entering trust. You are not abandoning your desire when you rest. You are placing it where it belongs. You are not forgetting your good. You are allowing divine mind to remember it perfectly. You are not letting go into nothingness. You are letting go into God. Rest now, dear heart. The way is already known in divine mind. Perhaps there is a part of you that says, "But if I do not think about it, nothing will happen." Speak gently to that part. Tell it, dear one. Fear is not the power that brings the good. Tell it, dear one. Anxious thought is not divine action. Tell it, dear one. The desire is not protected by strain. Tell it, dear one. What is mine by divine right is not kept alive by my sleeplessness. Tell it, dear one. The word has more power than worry. Tell it, dear one. We may rest now. Worry is a prayer to the wrong power. It gives attention to the appearance and calls it final. Faith is attention given to divine law. Faith says, the appearance is not the end. Faith says, infinite spirit can open a way where I see no way. Faith says, this or something better comes under grace. Faith says, I do not need to command every detail. I need only speak the right word and follow the right guidance when it appears. Tonight, let worry be dismissed like a tired servant who has done no good work. Let fear be told it is not needed at the bedside. Let anxiety be gently removed from the room of consciousness. This is a room for faith now. This is a room for trust now. This is a room for divine order now. This is a room where the last word belongs to God. This night is not for fear. This night is for faith. If the desire is for money, place it under grace. If the desire is for love, place it under grace. If the desire is for healing, place it under grace. If the desire is for peace, place it under grace. If the desire is for freedom, place it under grace. If the desire is for a door to open, place it under grace. If the desire is for a burden to be lifted, place it under grace. Under grace means without strain. Under grace means without harm. Under grace means through right channels. Under grace means in perfect ways. Under grace means by divine selection, not human force. Under grace means that the good comes cleanly, harmoniously, wisely, and in a way that blesses all concerned. Under grace means you do not need to seize, chase, beg, or break the door. You speak, bless, trust, and follow. Let the desire be lifted now, not denied, lifted, not abandoned, consecrated, not strangled by fear, purified by divine love. Let it rise out of the little chamber of human anxiety and be placed in the wide light of infinite spirit. I place this desire under grace. I place this question under grace. I place this burden under grace. I place this longing under grace. I place this hope under grace. I place this whole matter under grace. Now let the body hear that it no longer needs to carry the whole matter. The shoulders may release, the jaw may soften, the hands may open, the breath may deepen, the heart may cease its watch. The body has often tried to bear what belongs to spirit. It has tightened around desires. It has held questions in the stomach, fear in the chest, control in the hands, strain in the forehead. Tonight, let the body be told, You may rest. The way is not found through tension. The way is revealed through divine intelligence. Let the breath say, I release. Let the heart say, I trust. Let the mind say, the way is known. Let the soul say, I am under grace. You do not need to force your desire now. You do not need to keep it awake by thinking of it. You do not need to repeat the problem. You do not need to rehearse the absence. You do not need to explain to God why it matters. Infinite Spirit already knows the true need beneath the desire. Divine intelligence already knows the right form. Divine love already knows what will bless you and all concerned. Divine order already knows the appointed hour. Rest now, dear heart. The way is already known in divine mind. Sometimes the human mind believes it must choose between holding the desire and letting it go. But the true way is higher. You hold the truth and release the strain. You hold the word and release the fear. You hold the divine idea and release the forced form. You hold faith and release anxiety. You hold expectancy and release watching. You hold the knowing that your good is real in divine mind, and you release the need to manage every channel. This is the sacred art of rest. Rest is not weakness. Rest is not indifference. Rest is not giving up the good. Rest is faith without noise. Rest is confidence without grasping. Rest is the soul saying, the word has been spoken. Divine law is working. Rest is the heart saying, I do not see the way, but infinite intelligence does. Rest is the body saying, I need not tremble for what God can arrange. Rest is the mind saying, I have given the last word to truth, and now I may sleep. The last word matters. The last word before sleep sinks deeply. Do not let the last word be fear. Do not let the last word be impossibility. Do not let the last word be delay. Do not let the last word be bitterness. Do not let the last word be and cannot happen. Let the last word be divine fulfillment. Let the last word be under grace. Let the last word be infinite spirit opens the way. Let the last word be the seed works in silence while I sleep. I speak now the last word of faith over this night. Infinite spirit knows the way. Divine intelligence arranges the way. Divine love purifies the desire. Divine order establishes the form. Divine selection chooses what is mine. Divine timing appoints the hour. Divine guidance reveals the action. And I rest. Let these words move through you, as though they are not merely heard but received. Infinite spirit knows the way. Divine intelligence arranges the way. Divine love purifies the desire. Divine order establishes the form. Divine selection chooses what is mine. Divine timing appoints the hour. Divine guidance reveals the action. And I rest. Now, more softly, the way is known. The desire is blessed. The burden is cast. The seed is planted. The night is holy. The heart is safe. The soul may rest. There is no confusion in infinite spirit. If there is confusion in the human mind, it is only a passing mist. Mist is not law. Fear is not law. Delay is not law. Human uncertainty is not law. Divine order is law. The word is law. Faith is law. Love is law. What is yours by divine right is held in a law higher than appearances. If the mind asks again, how will it happen? Answer gently. Infinite intelligence knows the way. If the mind asks, when will it happen? Answer gently. Divine timing is exact. If the mind asks, who will help? Answer gently. The right person is selected by divine wisdom. If the mind asks, what must I do? Answer gently. I am divinely led to right action at the right time. If the mind asks, what if it does not come? Answer gently. What is mine by divine right cannot miss me. If the mind asks, what if this form is not mine? Answer gently. This or something better comes under grace in perfect ways. Now there is nothing more to argue with. The mind has asked, and truth has answered. The heart has feared, and faith has spoken. The body has tightened, and peace has entered. The desire has been held too tightly, and now it is placed under grace. You may sleep without losing your good. You may sleep without abandoning your desire. You may sleep without solving the way. You may sleep without controlling the channel. You may sleep without rehearsing the fear. You may sleep because the source is awake. You may sleep because infinite intelligence does not sleep. You may sleep because the Christ within bears the burden. You may sleep because the seed works in silence. You may sleep because the way is already known. Let the night become a sacred gate. Let the door of the deeper mind open only to faith, blessing, divine order and peace. Let every old word of fear be kept outside this gate. Let every harsh sentence be silenced. Let every anxious image dissolve. Let every forced plan loosen. Let every burden be cast. I cast this desire, this burden, this question upon the Christ within, and I go free. Again I cast this desire, this burden, this question upon the Christ within, and I go free. Again, I cast this desire, this burden, this question upon the Christ within, and I go free. Now feel the freedom of it. Not dramatic freedom, quiet freedom. The freedom of one who has stopped wrestling with the night. The freedom of one who has ceased trying to make the human mind into God. The freedom of one who has spoken the word and now trusts the law. The freedom of one who knows that divine mind is never late, never confused, never without a channel, never without a way. Rest now, dear heart. The way is already known in divine mind. Your desire is not wandering. Your good is not lost. Your answer is not outside the reach of divine intelligence. Your path is not hidden from spirit. Your next step is not unknown to God. Your appointed door is not forgotten. Your appointed hour is not misplaced. Your appointed good cannot miss you. Let that be the feeling with which you enter sleep. My appointed good cannot miss me. Let it be soft, not forceful. My appointed good cannot miss me. Let it be calm, not anxious. My appointed good cannot miss me. Let it be restful, not demanding. My appointed good cannot miss me. Now the word is planted. The word is planted in peace. The word is planted under grace. The word is planted in divine order. The word is planted in the deep mind. The word is planted before sleep, and the seed works in silence. As your body rests, let the word do its quiet work. As your eyes grow heavy, let divine law move without interference. As the outer world fades, let the inner garden receive the seed. As sleep draws near, let the last word be faith. Infinite Spirit knows the way. The burden is cast. The desire is blessed. The question is answered in divine mind. The way is known. The seed works in silence, and I may sleep. Again softly. The way is known. The burden is cast. The desire is blessed. The seed is planted. I may sleep. And now, softer still, the way is known. I trust. I rest. I sleep, in faith, under grace, in perfect peace. And now, while the night holds you gently, I would speak to the weariness that comes from fearing your supply. There is a peculiar tiredness that enters the soul when one has looked too long at appearances and called them truth. There is a fatigue that does not come from labor alone, but from inward trembling, from wondering how the next need shall be met, from counting and recounting, from imagining loss before it has arrived, from bowing the heart before money, as though money were a lord and not a servant. I know this tiredness. I have seen it in many faces. I have heard it in the voice that tries to sound cheerful, while the heart is secretly rehearsing lack. I have seen the hand close tightly over a little money, not with gratitude, but with fear, as though the last coin were the last mercy of God. But I say to you tonight, you were not created to fear your supply. You were not created to lie awake beneath the shadow of money. You were not created to measure the love of God by the contents of a purse, nor to decide the faithfulness of Infinite Spirit by the appearance of an account, a bill, a delay, or a human channel. You were not created to live as one who must beg life for permission to be provided for. You were created to live under divine law, to speak the right word, to expect the right good, to walk in right action, and to know that supply is first spiritual, then visible. Money is not your master. Money is one of the many forms through which supply may appear. It is not the source. It is not the throne. It is not the life-giver. It is not the judge of your worth, nor the measure of your destiny, nor the final witness of what God can do. It is a form, a channel, an instrument, a visible expression, and because it is only a form, it must not be worshipped, feared, hated, or cursed. It must be blessed and placed in its proper order. Do not make a god of the channel. This is one of the first lessons in demonstration. The channel may change, but the source is changeless. A door may close, but Infinite Spirit is not closed. A person may disappoint, but divine love is not disappointed. A plan may fail, but divine intelligence has not failed. A purse may look empty, but Infinite Spirit is never empty. The visible may say, there is not enough, but divine mind never speaks scarcity. The world of appearances may whisper, you are alone, but the law of Spirit says, I am with you always, and all that is mine is thine. When man fears money, he gives money a power that belongs only to God. When he trembles before a bill, when he speaks of lack with reverence, when he tells the story of limitation again and again, he is unknowingly enthroning the very thing he wishes to overcome. He thinks he is being practical. He thinks he is facing facts, but often he is merely repeating appearances until they harden into experience. A fact is not always a truth. A fact may be temporary. A fact may be an outpicturing of yesterday's fear, yesterday's word, yesterday's expectation, but truth is eternal, and truth says that God is the source of your supply. So tonight I would have you separate your fear from your identity. You may have felt afraid, but fear is not what you are. You may have spoken lack, but lack is not your law. You may have been pressed by conditions, but conditions are not your creator. You may have lived under the shadow of uncertainty, but uncertainty is not your inheritance. There is something in you deeper than fear, older than fear, and truer than fear. It is the part of you that knows divine order. It is the part of you that responds when the right word is spoken. It is the part of you that can rest before the evidence appears. Fear is a false prophet, and I shall not let it speak over you tonight. Fear prophesies disaster and calls it wisdom. Fear names the thing it dreads, and then wonders why the thing seems nearer. Fear says, what if there is not enough? What if the money does not come? What if the way does not open? What if I am left without help? But faith speaks differently. Faith does not argue with every what if. Faith says, God is my unfailing supply. Faith says, infinite spirit opens the way. Faith says, the right door opens under grace. Faith says, my good is not dependent upon one channel. Faith says, I refuse to give fear the privilege of naming my future. There is great danger in rehearsing lack before sleep. Not danger as punishment, but danger as law. For the mind, when it is quiet and yielding, receives the impression offered to it. If you enter sleep repeating, there is not enough, I am afraid, I do not know what to do, then the subconscious mind takes these words as instruction and begins to weave them into feeling, expectation, and outward condition. But if you enter sleep under the word of faith, if you place upon the threshold of the night a sentence of divine truth, then that sentence goes down into the deep places and begins its holy work. Therefore, let us not rehearse lack tonight. Let us not invite the old story to sit beside the bed. Let us not count fears as though they were treasures. Let us not open the door to the same anxious thought that has followed you through the day. You have listened to fear long enough. It has had its hour. It has spoken in many disguises. It has called itself prudence, caution, realism, memory, habit, and common sense. But beneath all those garments, it is still fear. And fear is not your guide. You may acknowledge an appearance without serving it. You may see a condition without enthroning it. You may know that a bill is due without saying that supply is absent. You may know that money is needed without declaring that money is scarce. You may look at the visible world and still refuse to let the visible world write the final sentence. That is spiritual mastery in its gentle beginning. It is not denial. It is right recognition. Right recognition says, this is the appearance, but God is the source. This is the condition, but divine law is greater. This is the need, but infinite supply is equal to every demand. This is the delay, but divine timing is exact. This is the closed door, but divine selection is choosing the right door. This is the moment before the answer, not the end of the story. You are learning to speak as one who is supplied. You are not poor in divine mind. You may be learning the language of supply after years of speaking the language of fear, but learning is not failure. You may be replacing old sentences one by one, but replacement is not weakness. You may have inherited words of lack from others, from childhood, from the fears of a household, from the anxious speech of those who did not know the law. Bless them and release them. They spoke as they knew. But you need not continue every sentence you inherited. There are people who carry poverty not first in the purse but in the tongue. They say money is hard to get. They say it always goes as soon as it comes. They say, I never have enough. They say, I cannot afford it. They say, I am unlucky. They say good things happen to others but not to me. And because the word is creative, life begins to arrange itself around these declarations. The world then appears to confirm the word, and the person says, see, I was right, but the word came first. Tonight, let us begin to reverse the old current, not violently, not fearfully, not with strain, but with calm authority. Let the old word be answered by the right word. If the old word says, I am always behind, the right word says, divine order is established in my affairs. If the old word says, I do not have enough, the right word says, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. If the old word says, I fear tomorrow, the right word says, tomorrow is held in divine wisdom. If the old word says, the channel is closed, the right word says, infinite spirit has many channels and opens the appointed one now under grace. Do you see how gently the soul may be retrained? It is not necessary to scold yourself for having feared. Fear has often been the world's first teacher, but it need not be the final teacher. Tonight, faith enters the room. Faith sits beside the bed. Faith lays a hand upon the troubled thought and says, Peace, be still. Faith does not accuse you. Faith does not say, how could you ever have been afraid? Faith says, come higher now. Speak differently now. Rest differently now. Expect differently now. The money you have feared is not greater than God. The need you have feared is not greater than God. The delay you have feared is not greater than God. The future you have feared is not greater than God. Nothing formed in the visible world has authority over the law of divine supply. Appearances have voice only when you lend them your belief. They have weight only when you rehearse them as final. They have continuity only when consciousness agrees to continue them. Withdraw agreement from lack. Withdraw reverence from fear. Withdraw authority from the visible condition, not by hatred, not by resistance, but by turning toward the truth. Say quietly within yourself, money is not my master. God is my source. Money is not my peace. God is my peace. Money is not my security. Divine law is my security. Money is one of the forms through which my supply may appear, and I bless it, but I do not bow before it. Let this correction be tender but complete. It is possible to desire money rightly. It is possible to bless money without worshipping it. It is possible to receive money without guilt. It is possible to use money without fear. It is possible to circulate money without panic. It is possible to have money and still know that God alone is the source. When money is placed in divine order, it becomes useful. When it is placed above God, it becomes a torment. When it is feared, it becomes a tyrant. When it is blessed, it becomes a servant. And so tonight, we place money in its right place, not above you, not against you, not beyond divine law, not as the ruler of your sleep, not as the judge of your future, not as the measure of your worth. It is placed beneath the law of spirit. It is placed beneath the word of blessing. It is placed beneath divine order. It is placed where every servant belongs, ready to move in right ways, through right channels, at the right time, under grace. You may have thought that your peace depended upon having more money before you could rest, but I tell you, peace comes first. Peace is not the reward of supply. Peace is the atmosphere in which supply is recognized. A frightened consciousness overlooks the very door that is opened. A strained mind may fail to hear the right idea. A heart that worships one channel may not see the better channel selected by divine intelligence. Peace clears the sight. Peace opens the ear. Peace allows the word of guidance to be heard. Therefore, let your peace come from the source, and money will follow divine order. Do not say, when money comes, I shall be peaceful. Say, because God is my source, I am peaceful now, and money takes its right place in divine order. Do not say, when I see the way, I shall trust. Say, because infinite intelligence knows the way, I trust now, and the way appears. Do not say, when the purse is full, I shall feel supplied. Say, because supply is spiritual before visible, I feel the truth of supply now, and the visible form comes under grace. This is not pretending, it is practicing truth. The world teaches man to feel according to appearances. Divine law teaches man to feel according to reality. The senses say, look only at what is seen. Faith says, call forth the unseen by the right word. The senses say, fear what is missing. Faith says, bless what is present and expect what is appointed. The senses say, money decides. Faith says, God decides, and money obeys its proper law. There is no virtue in fearing money. There is no holiness in dreading need. There is no wisdom in speaking poverty over oneself. Many have mistaken anxiety for responsibility. Many have mistaken panic for preparation. Many have mistaken complaint for honesty. But I say to you, responsibility without faith becomes bondage. Preparation without trust becomes torment. Honesty without divine truth becomes false prophecy. Let your honesty be lifted. Let it say, yes, this is the appearance, but it is not the final law. Yes, this is the condition, but God is my source. Yes, I have feared, but now I choose the word of faith. If a thought comes in the night and says, what if there is not enough? Answer gently, there is enough in divine mind, and my supply now appears under grace. If a thought says, what if the money does not come? Answer, my good comes through appointed channels, expected and unexpected. If a thought says, what if I am forgotten? Answer, I am remembered in divine love, and my good knows my name. If a thought says, what if the door remains closed? Answer, no door appointed by God can remain shut, and no door not appointed by God can hold my good. Speak not to convince fear, but to instruct consciousness. Fear need not be debated. It need not be entertained. It need not be analyzed through the night. It need only be replaced. Substitution is a law of freedom. Replace the dark word with the light word. Replace the frightened picture with the divine pattern. Replace the old expectation with a new expectancy of good. I say now, over every anxious place in you, your supply is not lost, your good is not late, your life is not outside divine care. The condition that has frightened you is temporary. The law that upholds you is eternal. The channel that seems uncertain is not the source. The purse may look empty, but infinite spirit is never empty. The account may seem small, but divine substance is inexhaustible. The road may seem narrow, but infinite intelligence knows openings beyond your present sight. Let the body hear this, not merely the mind. Let the breath hear it. Let the heart hear it. Let the tired nerves hear it. You are not required to fear your supply. You are not required to sleep in dread. You are not required to bow before numbers. You are not required to call yourself poor, because an appearance has not yet changed. You are learning to speak as one who is supplied, and that learning begins tonight. Perhaps money has seemed to come and go without order. Perhaps it has seemed uncertain, like a visitor who never stays. Perhaps you have felt that you could not trust it, but I would have you understand that the deeper trust is not in money. The deeper trust is in the source behind every right form of supply. When you trust the source, you do not cling to one form. When you trust the source, you do not curse a changing channel. When you trust the source, you bless what comes, bless what goes, and expect the law of circulation to reveal more good. Money in its right place need not frighten you. It is not a wild thing outside divine law. It is not a cruel thing with power over your soul. It is not a mysterious master withholding favor from you. It is a form that may be blessed, directed, circulated, received, and multiplied under grace. But before you can bless it peacefully, you must stop fearing it as though it were greater than God. So let us speak the correction slowly, as the night receives it. Money is not my master. God is my source. Money is not my peace. God is my peace. Money is not my security. Divine law is my security. Money is one of the many forms through which supply may appear. I bless money, but I do not fear it. I receive money, but I do not worship it. I circulate money, but I do not lose my peace. My supply comes from infinite spirit under grace in perfect ways. Let these words settle like soft rain upon dry ground. They are not merely sentences. They are a new order. They place the source above the channel. They place faith above fear. They place divine law above appearance. They begin to restore dignity to the soul that has bowed too long before the visible. Do not be troubled if the old fear tries once more to speak. Old habits often echo after the new word has been spoken. Let them echo. An echo has no authority unless you answer it. Tonight, do not answer fear with attention. Answer it with truth. Answer it once, calmly, and return to rest. Say, fear is a false prophet, and I do not receive its message. God is my unfailing supply. Again, fear is a false prophet, and I do not receive its message. God is my unfailing supply. Again, fear is a false prophet, and I do not receive its message. God is my unfailing supply. There is strength in such gentleness. There is authority in such quietness. The loud mind believes power must strain, but divine power is often still. The river does not shout to prove that it is moving. The seed does not cry out to prove that it is growing. The stars do not hurry to prove that they are faithful. Divine law acts in silence, with precision, without anxiety, and you too may learn to rest in that order. You need not be ashamed of having feared. Fear is often the shadow cast by forgetting the source. But now remembrance has come. You remember that God is the source. You remember that money is a channel. You remember that appearances are not final. You remember that the word spoken before sleep sinks deeply into the subconscious. You remember that tonight is not a place for rehearsing lack, but a sacred gate through which the right word may enter and prepare tomorrow. Let tomorrow be prepared by faith, not fear. Let the unseen hours be governed by divine truth, not by anxious prophecy. Let the subconscious receive a higher instruction. Let it hear, I am supplied. Let it hear, God is my source. Let it hear, infinite spirit opens the way. Let it hear, I do not make a god of the channel. Let it hear, my peace comes from the source, and money follows divine order. My peace comes from the source, and money follows divine order. My peace comes from the source, and money follows divine order. My peace comes from the source, and money follows divine order. This is the new rhythm. It is quiet enough for sleep, and strong enough for demonstration. It does not argue with the world. It does not beg conditions to change. It does not worship the visible. It stands inwardly in truth, and allows truth to become form. It says, I am no longer governed by the fear of money. I am governed by divine law. I am no longer ruled by the appearance of lack. I am instructed by the word of supply. I am no longer held captive by one channel. I am upheld by the source of all channels. Now rest in that. Let it be simple. Let it be enough. The soul need not solve everything in order to be safe. The mind need not see every step in order to sleep. The heart need not hold every burden in order to be responsible. You may be faithful and relaxed. You may be wise and peaceful. You may be provided for without strain. You may trust the source before the channel appears. I speak this over you now, with tenderness and certainty. You were not created to fear your supply. You were created to receive from infinite spirit, to bless what comes, to circulate what goes, to speak the right word, to refuse the false prophecy of lack, and to rest in the divine order that never sleeps. The fear of money loosens now. The worship of the channel dissolves now. The old rehearsal of lack grows quiet now. The burden of tomorrow is placed into wiser hands now. The soul remembers its source now. Money is not your master. God is your source. The visible condition is not your law. Divine supply is your law. The purse may look empty, but infinite spirit is never empty. The channel may seem delayed, but divine intelligence knows the way. The night may be still, but divine order is working in silence. And because divine order is working, you may rest. Your word is your wand, even in the dark, even when the room is still, even when the eyes grow heavy, even when no one hears you but God, and the silent chambers of your own mind. Your word is still active. It does not lose its power, because the hour is late. It does not become small, because it is spoken softly. A word uttered in fear may trouble the waters of life, and a word spoken in faith may begin to calm them. For the word is not a mere sound passing through the lips. The word is a mold. The word is a vessel. The word is a little pattern, offered to divine substance, and life obedient to law begins to fill the pattern that has been made. I have said that your word is your wand, and tonight I teach you to use it gently, not with strain, not with harshness, not as one who is trying to compel heaven, but as one who understands that divine law is exact and loving. The wand is not lifted in panic. The wand is not waved in terror. The wand is not used to strike the air because appearances seem frightening. It is lifted with calm authority. It is lifted in faith. It is lifted with the quiet knowledge that the right word, spoken under grace, prepares the way for right conditions. Many people do not know that they are using their wand all day long. They think they are only talking. They think they are only describing what they see. They think they are merely telling the truth when they say, I never have enough. Money is hard to get. Everything is against me. I cannot afford it. I am always behind. Nothing good happens to me. But the subconscious mind does not receive such words as idle conversation. It receives them as instruction. Divine law does not ask whether the word was spoken in jest, in habit, in weariness, or in complaint. The law receives the pattern and begins to produce after its kind. This is why I speak so tenderly, yet so firmly, about the tongue. I do not ask you to fear your words in a nervous way. I do not ask you to become afraid of every passing phrase. Fear would only make another chain. I ask you to become reverent. Reverence is not fear. Reverence is holy attention. Reverence is the quiet recognition that a sentence may be a seed, and that what is planted in consciousness may one day stand before you in form. So tonight, let us take back the wand from the hand of fear. Let us take back the word from the old habit of lack. Let us take back the speech that has been spent on complaint and place it upon the altar of divine supply. You need not condemn yourself for what you have spoken before. The law is exact, but grace is also at work. A wrong word may be replaced by a right word. A false prophecy may be cancelled by divine truth. A mold of lack may be broken, and a mold of supply may be formed. The old sentence need not govern you forever. Do not say, I cannot afford it. Say, infinite spirit opens the way. Do not say, money never comes. Say, my supply comes under grace in perfect ways. Do not say, I am always behind. Say, divine order is established in my affairs. Do not say, there is no way. Say, infinite intelligence knows the way. Do not say, I am afraid of tomorrow. Say, tomorrow is held in divine wisdom, and I am guided step by step. Do you feel how differently the soul receives these words? One set of words closes the gate, the other opens it. One set of words bows before appearances, the other calls upon divine law. One set of words repeats the old condition, the other forms a new mold into which supply may be poured. Every sentence is a little vessel. Fill it with faith, A sentence filled with fear carries one substance. A sentence filled with resentment carries another. A sentence filled with defeat goes out and gathers its own kind. But a sentence filled with faith, spoken quietly, repeated faithfully, and not contradicted by fear, becomes a vessel for good. It crosses the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It gives the subconscious a new command. It tells divine substance where to flow. It gives form to what was formless, direction to what was waiting, and permission to what was already prepared in spirit. The spoken word is the bridge between invisible supply and visible form. Before the visible thing appears, there must be an invisible pattern. Before the answer arrives, there must be an inner acceptance. Before the door opens, there must be a consciousness that does not call every door closed. Before money can come peacefully, there must be a word of peace concerning money. Before supply can remain, the soul must stop declaring absence. The bridge is built by the word. And what is a word? It is thought clothed in sound. It is belief given a body. It is expectation sent forth. It is imagination made audible. When you speak, you are not merely reporting life. You are participating in it. You are giving the law a pattern. You are telling the deep mind what to accept. You are saying to the invisible, this is the form I recognize. This is the truth I bless. This is the condition I expect under grace. Therefore, if you have used your word to describe lack, begin now to use it to declare supply. If you have used your word to agree with fear, begin now to use it to agree with faith. If you have used your word to repeat what the world said, begin now to use it to speak what divine law says. You are not required to shout. You are not required to force yourself into excitement. A tired voice may still speak truth. A whisper may still carry law. A quiet sentence spoken before sleep may go deeper than 1,000 anxious thoughts spoken in the day. This is why the night is sacred. When the outer mind grows quiet, the inner mind becomes more easily impressed. The guard at the gate grows weary, and the seed slips into the soil. If the last word of the day is fear, fear goes down into the depths and works there. If the last word of the day is supply, supply goes down into the depths and works there. If the last word of the day is complaint, complaint seeks to reproduce itself. If the last word of the day is blessing, blessing begins to arrange its own demonstration. So I say to you, let your last word tonight be a right word. Let it not be, I am worried. Let it not be, I do not know what I shall do. Let it not be, there is not enough. Let it not be, money never stays. Let it not be, I am alone. Let the last word be, God is my unfailing supply. Let it be, infinite spirit opens the way. Let it be, my good comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Let it be, I cast this burden upon the Christ within, and I go free. The subconscious mind accepts repeated words. It does not argue as the waking mind argues. It does not say, but how will this happen? It does not demand a visible path before it receives an impression. It accepts what is given to it, with feeling, rhythm, and repetition. If for years it has been given the language of fear, it may have built patterns of fear. But if now it is given the language of supply, steadily and peacefully, it begins to build another pattern. The mind can be retrained, the tongue can be consecrated, the inner atmosphere can be changed. Do not become impatient with this holy work. One does not uproot every old sentence in a single moment by force. One plants the new word again and again, until the old word loses nourishment. One speaks the divine truth, until the false belief becomes tired and falls away. One blesses the supply, until the fear of lack no longer feels natural. One repeats the right word, until the body itself begins to rest under it. Perhaps you have said many times, I cannot afford it. You may have thought this was harmless. You may have thought it was merely a practical phrase. But I ask you to see what it tells the deep mind. It says, I am separate from supply. It says, the channel I see is the only channel. It says, the visible amount is the limit of God. It says, the present appearance has final authority. Such a phrase is not innocent. It builds a wall in consciousness. Now we replace it. We do not say, I cannot afford it. We say, infinite spirit opens the way. We say, if this is mine by divine right, it comes to me under grace in perfect ways. We say, if it is not mine by divine right, I bless it and release it, and something better appears. Do you see the peace in that? It does not clutch. It does not beg. It does not fear. It places the matter in divine order. It allows the right thing to come and the wrong thing to go. It trusts divine selection. Perhaps you have said, money never comes to me. But what a command that is. What a gate it closes. What a message it sends to the subconscious. If you have said it, do not grieve. Cancel it now. Replace it now. Say, my supply comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Say, money and all forms of good come through appointed channels, expected and unexpected. Say, I do not dictate the channel. I trust the source. Say, infinite spirit is my unfailing supply, and the way is now open. Perhaps you have said, as soon as money comes, it goes. Then the deep mind has learned to expect loss with every receiving. Let the word be changed. Say, money comes to me blessed, and it circulates in divine order. Say, what goes forth in faith returns multiplied under grace. Say, there is no loss in divine mind. Say, I bless all that comes and all that goes, for my supply is from God and cannot be depleted. Perhaps you have said, I am always behind. Then life has heard behindness as your pattern. Let the word be changed. Say, I am in divine order. Say, time, money, work, and opportunity are now adjusted by infinite intelligence. Say, every obligation is met under grace in perfect ways. Say, I am guided to right action, right timing, right speech, and right use of all that is given to me. This is not empty speech. This is the science of the spoken word under divine law. The word is creative because it forms consciousness, and consciousness determines the condition that is accepted, expected, recognized, and demonstrated. A fearful word makes a fearful atmosphere. A faithful word makes a faithful atmosphere. And in the atmosphere of faith, ideas come, doors open, people appear, letters arrive, appointments are made, burdens lift, and supply takes form. I would have you understand that money responds not to panic, but to the right words spoken in faith. Panic scatters the mind. Panic worships the need. Panic repeats the danger, until the danger seems larger than God. Panic says, I must do something at once, even if it is not right action. Faith says, I speak the word, I become still, I am guided. Faith says, infinite intelligence knows the way. Faith says, divine order is now established. Faith says, the right channel opens under grace. When the right word is spoken in faith, it has a quiet authority. It does not tremble before appearances. It does not bargain with the visible world. It does not say, I will believe if I see. It says, I speak because I know the law, and the visible must, in its own appointed way, conform to divine truth. The right word is not noisy. It is not strained. It is not desperate. It has the dignity of certainty. So tonight, we shall not speak to money as beggars. We shall not speak to supply as though it were far away. We shall not speak to the future as though it were hostile. We shall not speak to the subconscious in the language of dread. We shall speak as students of divine law. We shall speak as children of the source. We shall speak as those who have remembered the wand. Your word is your wand, and the wand must not be dipped in fear. It must be dipped in faith. It must not trace patterns of poverty in the air. It must trace patterns of supply, peace, order, and right action. Each word tonight may become a little line in the new design. Each sentence may smooth the way. Each declaration may remove a stone from the road. Each blessing may open a window in consciousness. Let us begin with the simplest word. God is my supply. Not money is my supply. Not one person is my supply. Not one opportunity is my supply. Not one purse, one account, one business, one employer, one client, one relative, one institution, one plan. God is my supply. The forms may be many, but the source is one. The channels may change, but the source is changeless. The appearance may fluctuate, but the source remains full. God is my supply. Let that word go down into the deep mind. God is my supply. Let it pass through the nervous places. God is my supply. Let it touch the fear of tomorrow. God is my supply. Let it answer the memory of lack. God is my supply. Let it stand before every visible condition and quietly remain. God is my supply. Now the word expands. God is my unfailing supply, and large, happy, unexpected good comes to me under grace in perfect ways. This is a word of expectancy. It does not dictate. It does not strain. It does not tell infinite spirit how to work. It makes room. It allows the unexpected. It allows grace. It allows perfect ways. It refuses the narrow mind that says, it must come only here, only through this person, only in this manner, only by this hour. No, divine intelligence knows the way. The word of faith gives permission to the broader good. God is my unfailing supply, and large, happy, unexpected good comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Let it be soft. Let it be slow. Let it be received. God is my unfailing supply, and large, happy, unexpected good comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Now another word. My word is my wand, and I speak only what I wish to see fulfilled. This does not mean you must become tense or frightened of speech. It means you become awake. You become loving toward your own future. You stop throwing stones into the path ahead. You stop cursing the field and wondering why the harvest is delayed. You stop calling lack by name as though it were your companion. You begin to bless. You begin to call forth. You begin to speak as one who understands that words prepare the mold. My word is my wand, and I speak only what I wish to see fulfilled. Again, my word is my wand, and I speak only what I wish to see fulfilled. Again, my word is my wand, and I speak only what I wish to see fulfilled. There is a beautiful discipline in this. It is not harsh discipline. It is like learning to carry a lamp through a dark room without letting the flame go out. You do not run. You do not shake the lamp. You walk carefully, steadily, reverently. So it is with the word. You carry it through the appearances of the day. You carry it through the question. You carry it through the bill. You carry it through the silence. You carry it through the waiting. You carry it through the night. And if you forget, you return. If an old sentence escapes the lips, you do not fall into despair. You cancel and replace. If you say, I cannot afford it, you may immediately say, that word is now cancelled. Infinite Spirit opens the way, if this is mine by divine right. If you say, I am afraid there will not be enough, you may immediately say, that fear is not my law. God is my unfailing supply. If you say, money never stays, you may immediately say, I bless money in divine order, and what is mine by divine right remains, circulates and multiplies under grace. The right word is stronger than the wrong word when it is accepted. The light is stronger than darkness, not because it fights darkness, but because it is light. The right word need not wrestle with the old word. It replaces it. It stands in its place. It gives consciousness another command. It opens a new road. I have seen the spoken word transform lives that seemed bound by circumstance. I have seen a person with no visible way speak the word of faith and then be guided to the precise action that opened the door. I have seen those who cursed money begin to bless it and find that supply came in ways they had not imagined. I have seen those who were afraid to receive learn to say, I accept my good under grace, and watch the old obstruction dissolve. The law works when man stops contradicting it. Contradiction is one of the great thieves of demonstration. One prays for supply, then speaks lack. One declares faith in the morning, then complains in the evening. One says God is my source, then bows before the first delayed channel. One blesses the seed, then digs it up with fear. Tonight, let contradiction rest. Let the inner word and the outer word begin to agree. Let the prayer and the conversation become one. Let the desire and the declaration walk together. It is better to speak one sentence in faith and keep silence than to speak 1,000 words that scatter the mind. Silence can be holy when it protects the word. If you cannot yet speak supply with ease, then begin with a small true word. Say, I am willing to believe that Infinite Spirit knows the way. Say, I am willing to stop speaking against my good. Say, I am willing to let divine order be established. Say, I am willing to receive the right word. Willingness opens the gate gently. It is a humble beginning, and divine law can work with it. You need not pretend to feel mighty. You need only turn. Turn from the old sentence. Turn from the fearful prophecy. Turn from the habit of lack. Turn toward the source, and speak as you are able. The word will grow stronger as it is used. Faith grows by expression. The wand becomes natural in the hand that lifts it daily. Tonight as you rest, let these words become familiar. My supply is not absent. My supply is in divine mind and comes forth under grace. My money is not confused. It is placed in divine order. My good is not lost. It comes through right channels. My word is not powerless. My word is my wand. I bless my supply, and my supply responds to blessing. Do not strain to believe. Let the words do their quiet work. A drop of water, falling again and again, changes the stone. A word of truth, spoken again and again, changes consciousness. Consciousness changed becomes condition changed. Inner order becomes outer order. Inner faith becomes outer evidence. Inner blessing becomes outer increase. The spoken word is the bridge. Tonight we cross it gently. We cross from fear to faith. We cross from lack to supply. We cross from complaint to blessing. We cross from panic to divine order. We cross from the worship of channels to trust in the source. We cross from the old sentence to the right word. Let the bridge be made of these words. Infinite Spirit opens the way. My supply comes under grace in perfect ways. Divine order is established in my finances. I do not speak against my good. I bless my supply. I cast this burden upon the Christ within, and I go free. Again, infinite spirit opens the way. My supply comes under grace in perfect ways. Divine order is established in my finances. I do not speak against my good. I bless my supply. I cast this burden upon the Christ within, and I go free. Now let us speak of money softly, as one speaks of a servant being restored to its right place. Money is not to be feared. Money is not to be cursed. Money is not to be chased in panic. Money is not to be worshipped. Money is to be blessed, circulated, received, used rightly, and governed by the word of faith. Money responds to the consciousness that holds it, to the word that blesses it, to the expectation that surrounds it. When it is touched with fear, it seems uncertain. When it is cursed, it seems to flee. When it is hoarded in terror, it loses its divine rhythm. But when it is blessed under grace, it becomes part of the law of circulation. You shall learn to say, I bless all money that comes to me, and I bless all money that goes from me. It comes under grace, and it returns under grace. It serves divine love. It moves in divine order. It is not my source. God is my source. It is not my master. Divine law is my authority. It is not my fear. It is an instrument of good. Such words purify the relationship with supply. They remove guilt. They remove dread. They remove the old harshness. They allow money to take its proper place in the kingdom of your affairs. And when money is no longer enthroned as master, it may begin to serve. Do you see how the right word changes the inner atmosphere? It does not need to push. It does not need to plead. It sets things in order. It says to fear, you are not the ruler here. It says to money, you are not the source here. It says to the subconscious, accept divine supply as natural. It says to the future, you are held in divine order. It says to the unseen, I am ready to receive under grace. The old way was to use words as reports. The new way is to use words as instruments. The old way was to describe the appearance. The new way is to declare the law. The old way was to say, I see lack, therefore lack is truth. The new way is to say, I see an appearance, but divine supply is truth. The old way was to repeat what frightened you. The new way is to speak what frees you. Your words prepare the mold for your reality. This does not mean every passing thought is to be feared. It means the repeated, accepted, emotionalized word becomes a pattern in consciousness. Therefore, tonight we give the subconscious a new pattern, a pattern of supply, a pattern of peace, a pattern of right action, a pattern of divine order, a pattern of expectancy, a pattern of blessing. Let the subconscious hear this in the quiet. I do not speak against my good. I bless my supply. I bless the money that comes. I bless the money that goes. I bless every right channel. I bless every closed door that was not mine. I bless every open door selected by divine intelligence. I bless the work of my hands. I bless the ideas that come to me. I bless the appointments prepared for me. I bless the unseen ways through which my good now travels. I bless my purse, my home, my table, my obligations, my opportunities, my future. I speak the word, and the word prepares the way. Now let the words become more quiet. Let them move at the pace of sleep. My word is my wand. I speak blessing. I speak supply. I speak peace. I speak divine order. I speak right action. I speak faith. I speak under grace. I speak in perfect ways. My word is my wand. I speak blessing. I speak supply. I speak peace. I speak divine order. I speak right action. I speak faith. I speak under grace. I speak in perfect ways. There may be conditions in your life tonight that appear unchanged. Do not let this trouble you. The seed is not troubled because the flower is not yet visible. The foundation is not troubled because the house is not yet furnished. The dawn is not troubled because the night still appears dark. The word begins in the invisible. It moves first in consciousness. It rearranges the inner acceptance. It quiets fear. It calls forth guidance. It prepares right action. Then, in due season, it appears. Speak, then rest. Bless, then release. Declare, then become still. This is the rhythm for the night. Not speak and worry. Not bless and dig up the seed. Not declare and then ask fear for its opinion. Speak, then rest. Bless, then release. Declare, then become still. The right word does not need your anxiety to help it. The right word does not need you to remain awake guarding it. Once planted, let it be planted. Once spoken, let it go forth. Once the burden is cast upon the Christ within, do not take it back in the next breath. Say, I have spoken the word. Divine law is now working. I rest. I have spoken the word. Divine law is now working. I rest. I have spoken the word. Divine law is now working. Let this be the gentle authority with which you enter sleep. Not the authority of force, but the authority of faith. Not the authority of control, but the authority of surrender to law. Not the authority that says, I must make everything happen tonight, but the authority that says, I have spoken the right word, and infinite intelligence knows the way. Your word is your wand, even in the dark, especially in the dark. For in the dark, the senses grow quiet. In the dark, the outer world loosens its hold. In the dark, the word may sink down undisturbed. In the dark, the unseen may be trusted. In the dark, faith learns that it does not need visible proof in order to rest. So speak now inwardly. With me, in calmness, God is my unfailing supply. Infinite Spirit opens the way. My supply comes under grace in perfect ways. I do not speak against my good. I bless my money and all forms of supply. Divine order is established in my affairs. The right word has been spoken. The seed is planted. The law is working. I rest, and again softer still. God is my unfailing supply. Infinite Spirit opens the way. My supply comes under grace in perfect ways. I do not speak against my good. I bless my money and all forms of supply. Divine order is established in my affairs. The right word has been spoken. The seed is planted. The law is working. I rest. Now let the wand be quiet in your hand. The word has gone forth. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to force it. You do not need to wonder whether it has been heard. Every word of truth is heard in the deep places. Every word of faith leaves an imprint. Every blessing prepares a path. Every right declaration loosens the hold of the wrong condition. Tonight you are no longer merely describing life. You are blessing it into order. You are no longer repeating the language of fear. You are learning the language of divine supply. You are no longer using your word against yourself. You are placing your word in the service of your good. And so, rest now beneath the word you have spoken. Rest beneath the blessing. Rest beneath the law. Rest beneath divine order. Rest beneath infinite supply. Rest beneath the quiet certainty that your word is your wand, and the right word spoken in faith prepares the way. Now in the quiet of this night, let us cancel the old prophecies of scarcity. Let us not do it with fear. Let us not do it with sorrow. Let us not look backward with condemnation, as though every mistaken word had placed you beyond grace. No, dear heart. Divine law is exact, but divine law is also merciful. For the right word may enter where the wrong word has been, and the blessing may dissolve the curse, and the new sentence may begin a new order. You are not imprisoned forever by what you once said in ignorance, weariness, habit, or fear. You are not condemned because you repeated what the world taught you. You are not abandoned because you used your wand without knowing it was a wand. Tonight we cleanse the tongue. Tonight we cleanse the memory. Tonight we cleanse the old inner speech that has gone on too long in the chambers of the mind. Tonight we do not fight the past. We bless it and release it. Tonight we do not accuse the frightened self. We teach it a higher word. Tonight we say with calm authority, the old sentence is finished. The new word begins tonight. Perhaps you have said, I am always behind. Perhaps you have spoken it in the morning when the day seemed heavy. Perhaps you have spoken it while looking at obligations, letters, accounts, or duties that seemed to gather faster than answers. Perhaps you did not mean to create a pattern. Perhaps you only meant to express fatigue. But the deep mind heard the words, and the words made a little path. I am always behind. I am always behind. I am always behind. Such a sentence becomes a rhythm if it is repeated, and rhythm becomes expectation, and expectation seeks fulfillment. But now we cancel it, not with panic, not with regret, with the right word. I now cancel the belief that I am always behind. I am in divine order. Time, money, duty, and opportunity are now adjusted by infinite intelligence under grace in perfect ways. Let this word move gently through the old pattern. I am in divine order. I am in divine order. There is no confusion in divine mind. There is no lateness in divine order. There is a right hour, a right action, a right word, a right opening. I do not live under the tyranny of delay. I live under the law of divine adjustment. Perhaps you have said, I never have enough. Perhaps you learned it long ago from anxious voices around you. Perhaps it was spoken at the table, spoken over bills, spoken in weary rooms, spoken by those who loved you but did not know the law of the word. Perhaps the sentence entered your mind before you had the wisdom to refuse it. I never have enough. It may have followed you like a shadow, repeating itself whenever money appeared small, whenever need appeared large, whenever the future seemed uncertain. But I say to you now, do not accept inherited poverty language as your own law. Bless those who spoke from fear. Bless the generations that struggled. Bless the homes where scarcity was named more often than supply. Bless the frightened voices that did not know how to bless money, did not know how to cast the burden, did not know how to speak under grace. Bless them and be free. You do not dishonor them by speaking differently. You honor divine truth by refusing to continue a false prophecy. I now cancel the belief that I never have enough. God is my unfailing supply. Infinite Spirit is inexhaustible, and my good comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Let the words be simple. God is my unfailing supply. Infinite Spirit is inexhaustible. My good comes under grace. There is enough in divine mind. There is enough wisdom. There is enough substance. There are enough channels. There is enough opportunity. There is enough love. There is enough right action. There is enough for every need, and what is mine by divine right cannot be withheld. Perhaps you have said, money goes as soon as it comes. A common phrase, lightly spoken, often repeated, but it carries a hidden command. It tells the deep mind that receiving must be followed by loss. It teaches the heart to tense even in the moment of blessing. It makes incoming money feel like a visitor who will not stay, a guest already turning toward the door. But money need not be governed by that old prophecy. Money may come in peace. Money may circulate in order. Money may remain where it is divinely assigned. Money may go forth to bless and return blessed. There is no loss in divine mind. So now we cancel the old sentence. I now cancel the belief that money goes as soon as it comes. Money comes to me blessed, remains where it is divinely assigned, circulates in faith, and returns under grace in multiplied good. Let that be the new mold. Money comes blessed. Money remains where it is divinely assigned. Money circulates in faith. Money returns under grace. Money is not wild. Money is not fleeing. Money is not master. Money is placed in divine order. And what is placed in divine order serves good. Perhaps you have said, I cannot afford this. Perhaps the phrase has been upon your lips so often that it seemed harmless, almost natural. But no word of lack is harmless when accepted as law. The phrase I cannot afford this often means, the visible channel is my only source. It often means, the present appearance is final. It often means, I cannot imagine infinite spirit opening another way. But you need not speak thus any longer. You may speak with wisdom and still refuse lack. You may discern what is yours by divine right without saying there is no supply. You may release what is not appointed for you without declaring poverty over yourself. So now the old sentence is finished. I now cancel the belief that I cannot afford my appointed good. If this is mine by divine right, infinite spirit opens the way under grace in perfect ways. If it is not mine by divine right, I bless it and release it, and something better appears. This is a free sentence. It does not clutch. It does not fear. It does not bow before appearance. It does not demand a thing that is not divinely selected. It does not deny the source. It rests in divine selection. It says, my own comes to me. The wrong thing may pass, and I am not harmed. The right thing may come, and I am prepared. Infinite Spirit opens the way. Perhaps you have said, it is too late for me. This is one of fear's saddest prophecies. It gathers years, memories, delays, disappointments, and places them before the soul as though they were stronger than God. It says the season has passed. It says the door has closed forever. It says the good that might have been is no longer possible. But I tell you, divine mind is not bound by the calendar of fear. Divine order can restore, redirect, renew, and reveal. The right idea can come at the right hour. The appointed door can open after every wrong door has closed. Nothing is too late in infinite intelligence. So now we cancel this old prophecy. I now cancel the belief that it is too late for me. I am in the eternal now of divine good. The right door opens, the right way appears, and my appointed good comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Let the heart hear this. It is not too late for your peace. It is not too late for your supply. It is not too late for right work. It is not too late for right expression. It is not too late for the restoration of order. It is not too late for divine love to arrange what the human mind could not arrange. The years do not frighten God. The delays do not disturb divine law. The past does not have authority over the words spoken in faith tonight. No word of fear has power over the word of divine truth. Let that sentence stand like a lamp in the room of the mind. No word of fear has power over the word of divine truth. The words you spoke in fear are not greater than the words you speak now in faith. The old complaint is not greater than the new blessing. The inherited phrase is not greater than the awakened declaration. The careless sentence is not greater than the consecrated word. The wrong mold may be broken. The right mold may be formed. Divine substance may be poured into a new pattern. You may say now, gently and completely. I now cancel every foolish word I have spoken against my supply. Say it without shame. Shame would only make another shadow. Say it as one opening the windows of a long-closed room. Say it as one allowing fresh air to enter consciousness. I now cancel every foolish word I have spoken against my supply. Every word of lack, every word of fear, every word of self-pity, every word of despair, every word that named poverty as my portion, every word that made money my master, every word that denied the source, every word that prophesied delay, every word that mocked my good, every word that cursed what I should have blessed, is now neutralized by divine truth. I now cancel every foolish word I have spoken against my supply, and I replace it with the word of divine abundance under grace. Let this be a holy cleansing, not a struggle. We are not digging through the past to suffer over it. We are passing the light through it. We are not collecting old phrases to accuse ourselves. We are gathering them only to release them. The spoken blessing dissolves the spoken curse. The right word neutralizes the wrong word. The new declaration begins a new path. I bless my past and release its poverty language. This is a powerful and gentle word. I bless my past and release its poverty language. I bless the old rooms where fear was spoken. I bless the old tables where lack was discussed. I bless the anxious hands that counted too little and feared too much. I bless the memories of waiting, of wanting, of not knowing how the need would be met. I bless the child who heard words of scarcity and did not yet know how to answer them. I bless the younger self who repeated what had been taught. I bless it all, and I release its poverty language. I do not need to hate the past in order to be free from it. I do not need to condemn those who feared in order to speak faith now. I do not need to fight old voices. I bless them and I rise above them. I bless my past and release its poverty language. I bless my past and release its poverty language. I bless my past and release its poverty language. Now the new word may enter where the old word lived. Where I once said, I am always behind, I now say, divine order is established in my affairs. Where I once said, I never have enough, I now say, God is my unfailing supply. Where I once said, money goes as soon as it comes, I now say, money comes blessed, remains divinely assigned, circulates in faith, and returns under grace. Where I once said, I cannot afford it, I now say, if it is mine by divine right, infinite spirit opens the way. Where I once said, it is too late for me, I now say, I am in the eternal now of divine good. Where I once said, I do not know what to do, I now say, infinite intelligence guides me in right action. Where I once said, I am afraid, I now say, I cast this burden upon the Christ within, and I go free. The old sentence is finished. The new word begins tonight. Let those words fall gently into the subconscious. The old sentence is finished. The new word begins tonight. Do not hurry them. Do not force them. Let them be like a seal placed upon this hour. The old sentence is finished. The new word begins tonight. It does not matter how many times the old sentence was spoken. A right word spoken in faith begins a new order. It does not matter how natural fear once felt. A right word spoken in faith begins a new order. It does not matter how long lack has seemed to stand before you. A right word spoken in faith begins a new order. Divine law is exact, but it is not cruel. It does not say, you have spoken wrongly, therefore you may never be free. It says, speak rightly now. It says, choose the word of faith now. It says, bless where you once cursed. It says, declare where you once complained. It says, expect where you once feared. It says, bring the tongue, the heart, the mind, and the imagination into divine agreement. There is a merciful precision in the law. When you put your hand into the light does not ask how long you were in darkness. It shines. When you open the window, the fresh air does not ask how long the room was closed. It enters. When you speak the word of truth, divine law does not ask how many times fear spoke before. It begins its work according to the new pattern accepted in consciousness. So let us open the window tonight. Let us allow the air of divine supply to enter. Let us allow old sentences to depart like stale breath from a closed room. Let us not chase them. Let us not analyze each one. Let us not ask why they stayed so long. Let us open to the new word and let the old atmosphere change. I refuse to prophesy lack over a life designed for divine supply. Let this sentence carry quiet authority. I refuse to prophesy lack over a life designed for divine supply. I refuse to call poverty my portion. I refuse to speak delay as destiny. I refuse to bless fear with repetition. I refuse to make a final law out of a passing appearance. I refuse to make money my master. I refuse to make the channel my source. I refuse to name myself forgotten when infinite spirit knows my name. I refuse to prophesy lack over a life designed for divine supply. Again, I refuse to prophesy lack over a life designed for divine supply. Again, I refuse to prophesy lack over a life designed for divine supply. Feel how the sentence does not attack. It simply withdraws consent. It says, I no longer agree with the old language. I no longer lend my mouth to fear. I no longer let the world use my tongue to build a condition I do not desire. I no longer repeat poverty as though it were holy. I no longer call anxiety wisdom. I no longer call worry responsibility. I no longer call limitation truth. Now, let the blessing speak. I bless my supply. I bless the money that has come. I bless the money that is coming. I bless the money that has gone forth to meet obligations. I bless the money that returns in divine order. I bless every right channel. I bless every appointed opportunity. I bless every idea from infinite intelligence. I bless every right person, every right letter, every right appointment, every right opening. I bless the unseen movement of my good. I bless my own consciousness, now being trained in the word of supply. The spoken blessing dissolves the spoken curse. A blessing is more than kindness. It is a spiritual command of good. When you bless money, you remove fear from it. When you bless your past, you remove resentment from it. When you bless your obligations, you remove dread from them. When you bless your future, you remove suspicion from it. When you bless your own mind, you stop fighting yourself and begin to cooperate with divine law. Blessing is not weakness. Blessing is power under grace. It does not wrestle with the wrong condition. It calls forth the right one. It does not curse the darkness. It speaks the light. It does not magnify the need. It recognizes the source. It does not deny that an appearance exists. It denies that the appearance has final authority. So if you have spoken against your supply, bless now. If you have complained about money, bless now. If you have feared the next need, bless now. If you have repeated the poverty language of another, bless now. If you have joked about being poor, bless now. If you have told your own soul that good never comes to you, bless now. Blessing is the new current. Blessing is the new speech. Blessing is the new way through the night. I now bless where I once feared. I now bless where I once complained. I now bless where I once expected lack. I now bless where I once repeated old poverty language. I now bless my supply and call it forth under grace in perfect ways. Let this become a quiet liturgy in the mind. I now bless where I once feared. I now bless where I once complained. I now bless where I once expected lack. I now bless where I once repeated old poverty language. I now bless my supply and call it forth under grace in perfect ways. No harshness is needed. No inner violence is needed. The soul changes best under the warmth of truth. Fear may have spoken loudly, but truth may speak softly and still be greater. Scarcity may have repeated itself for years, but the right word may begin tonight and continue until the whole inner atmosphere is changed. The night is a gracious time for this work. During the day, the mind is often occupied with duties and appearances. At night, the deeper places become more available. Tonight, the old sentences can be taken from the doorway of sleep and replaced with words of supply. Tonight, instead of entering rest under the prophecy of lack, you enter rest under the blessing of divine order. Tonight, instead of letting fear whisper over the pillow, you let faith speak first and last. Let us now gather some of the old prophecies and release them together. The prophecy, I am always behind, is cancelled now. Divine order is established. The prophecy, I never have enough, is cancelled now. God is my unfailing supply. The prophecy, money goes as soon as it comes, is cancelled now. Money circulates in divine order and returns under grace. The prophecy, I cannot afford my good, is cancelled now. What is mine by divine right comes to me in perfect ways. The prophecy, it is too late for me, is cancelled now. Divine timing is exact, and my appointed good appears. The prophecy, nothing works for me, is cancelled now. Infinite intelligence works through me and for me. The prophecy, I am alone in this, is cancelled now. The presence within me goes before me and makes the crooked places straight. The prophecy, I do not know what to do, is cancelled now. The right idea comes at the right time, and I am guided in right action. The prophecy, I am afraid of money, is cancelled now. Money takes its right place as servant, and God remains my source. The prophecy, I cannot receive, is cancelled now. I receive my good with gratitude, wisdom, and peace. Now breathe softly, and let the cancellations be complete. The old words need not be chased into every corner. Divine truth is sufficient. No word of fear has power over the word of divine truth. No inherited phrase has power over divine law. No careless sentence has power over the consecrated words spoken now. I now declare a new order in the secret place of consciousness. My words are cleansed by faith. My tongue is trained in blessing. My mind is released from inherited lack. My subconscious receives the word of supply. My past is blessed and released. My future is blessed and prepared. My present is blessed and ordered. My supply is blessed and revealed. Let it be gentle. Let it be slow. Let it be received. My words are cleansed by faith. My tongue is trained in blessing. My mind is released from inherited lack. My subconscious receives the word of supply. My past is blessed and released. My future is blessed and prepared. My present is blessed and ordered. My supply is blessed and revealed. There is nothing to fear in this cleansing. You are not being judged. You are being freed. You are not being punished for the old language. You are being invited into the new. You are not being asked to deny that fear once visited you. You are being asked to stop giving fear a room in the house. You are not being asked to pretend the past was easy. You are being asked to let divine truth have the final word over it. The final word over your past is blessing. The final word over your supply is abundance. The final word over your fear is peace. The final word over your obligations is divine order. The final word over your future is under grace. The final word over your life is God. And if the mind asks, can it truly be changed after so many years? Answer with the law. A right word spoken in faith begins a new order. If the mind says, but I have spoken wrongly too often, answer with the law. A right word spoken in faith begins a new order. If the mind says, but I inherited these fears, answer with the law. A right word spoken in faith begins a new order. If the mind says, but the appearance is still before me, answer with the law. A right word spoken in faith begins a new order. Now let the new order begin quietly. Let it begin without drama. Let it begin in the hidden place where true change is first formed. Let it begin in the last words you carry into sleep. Let it begin in the sentences you no longer speak. Let it begin in the blessing you place over money. Let it begin in the peace you allow before evidence appears. You do not need to repair every year tonight. You do not need to understand every cause. You do not need to remember every word you ever spoke. Divine truth is not weak. It can move through memory, habit, inheritance, and fear. It can cleanse the pattern. It can restore the word. It can open the way. So rest now in the mercy of the law. Rest in the exactness that allows a new word to produce a new pattern. Rest in the grace that does not condemn the learner. Rest in the blessing that dissolves the curse. Rest in the quiet authority of the declaration. The old sentence is finished. The new word begins tonight. The old sentence is finished. The new word begins tonight. The old sentence is finished. The new word begins tonight. The old sentence is finished. The new word begins tonight. I now cancel every foolish word I have spoken against my supply. I bless my past and release its poverty language. No word of fear has power over the word of divine truth. I refuse to prophesy lack over a life designed for divine supply. A right word spoken in faith begins a new order. Again, softly, as the subconscious receives it. I now cancel every foolish word I have spoken against my supply. I bless my past and release its poverty language. No word of fear has power over the word of divine truth. I refuse to prophesy lack over a life designed for divine supply. A right word spoken in faith begins a new order. And now, even more quietly, my past is blessed. My words are cleansed. My supply is blessed. My fear is released. My good is called forth. The old sentence is finished. The new word begins tonight. Let this be the feeling that follows you into sleep. Not regret, but release. Not fear, but blessing. Not condemnation, but a new order under grace. The mouth has been returned to faith. The mind has been offered a new pattern. The old prophecy has been answered by divine truth, and divine truth has the final word. Now let us place money where it belongs. Not above the soul, not beneath contempt, not upon the throne, not outside the reach of blessing. Money must be neither worshipped nor feared, neither hated nor adored, neither clutched as life itself, nor rejected as something unspiritual. Money is a form. Money is a symbol. Money is one of the visible garments worn by supply. It is not the source, and because it is not the source, it must not rule the heart. It is not evil, and because it is not evil, it must not be cursed. It is not holy in itself, and because it is not holy in itself, it must not be made into an idol. It is an instrument, and an instrument must be placed in the hands of divine wisdom. I do not worship money, and I do not fear it. Let that sentence enter the quiet mind. I do not worship money, and I do not fear it. There is rest in this word. There is balance in it. There is freedom in it. For many suffer, not because money is absent, but because money has been misplaced in consciousness. Some place it too high and call it security. Some place it too low and call it unclean. Some chase it as though it were God. Some reject it as though refusing it were holiness. But divine law asks for right relation. The right relation to money is neither terror nor adoration. The right relation is blessing, wisdom, circulation, gratitude, and order. Money is not my source. Infinite Spirit is my source. This is the correction that brings peace. Money is not my source. Infinite Spirit is my source. The purse is not my source. The account is not my source. The employer, the client, the relative, the opportunity, the inheritance, the sale, the letter, the contract, the payment, the gift, the visible channel, none of these is the source. They may be blessed channels, and I bless every form through which my good appears, but I do not confuse the form with the fountain. The form may change, the fountain remains, the channel may open or close, the source remains full. When you make money your source, money becomes a master. When you remember that God is your source, money becomes a servant. When you believe that one channel alone must provide, you tremble whenever that channel trembles. But when you know that Infinite Spirit has countless channels, you cease making one human way the Lord of your peace. The channel may change, but the source is changeless. And because the source is changeless, you may rest even while the forms rearrange themselves. The fear of money and the worship of money come from the same misunderstanding. Both believe money has power apart from God. The one says, if I do not have it, I am lost. The other says, if I have it, I am saved. But both are mistaken. Money is not salvation. Money is not damnation. Money is not life. Money is not death. Money is one expression through which supply may take form in the world of affairs. It may buy bread, shelter, books, garments, tools, passage, comfort, beauty, service, and opportunity. It may be used to bless a home, to ease a burden, to support a work, to express generosity, to make right action possible. But it must be governed by the law of good, not by fear, vanity, pride, guilt, or grasping. When money is governed by fear, it becomes confused. It seems to flee, to scatter, to vanish, to stir anxiety, to make the heart restless. When money is governed by pride, it becomes a false crown, and the wearer is never at peace. When money is governed by guilt, it cannot be received freely, and what is rejected in consciousness is delayed in form. When money is governed by resentment, it becomes heavy. When money is governed by divine love, it becomes useful. When money is governed by divine order, it becomes a servant of right expression. Money is a servant of divine order when held in faith. Let this word be held gently. Money is a servant of divine order when held in faith. It is not to be feared as though it could harm the soul. It is not to be scorned as though it were outside God's universe. One must not scorn the instrument of one's good. If money is the form through which rent is paid, bread is purchased, travel is made possible, work is supported, a debt is honored, a gift is given, or beauty is expressed, then bless the form. Do not worship it. Bless it. Do not cling to it. Bless it. Do not curse it because it has been misused by others. Bless it into right use in your own life. A knife may cut bread or wound a hand. Fire may warm a home or destroy a house. Speech may bless or condemn. The power is not in condemning the instrument, but in placing it under right direction. So it is with money. In fear it becomes a torment. In greed it becomes a chain. In wisdom it becomes a tool. In love it becomes a blessing. Under divine law, it becomes part of the circulation of good. I bless every form through which my good appears. Let this be your new relationship to money. Not tension, not shame, not worship, not contempt. Blessing. I bless every form through which my good appears. I bless the coin in the hand. I bless the bill that is paid. I bless the payment received. I bless the honest wage. I bless the unexpected gift. I bless the opportunity that carries supply. I bless the letter that brings good news. I bless the appointment that opens the way. I bless the idea that becomes provision. I bless the work that expresses talent. I bless the channel, and I remember the source. The channel may change, but the source is changeless. This truth brings a great quietness. The human mind is often frightened because it sees only one road. It looks at one expected payment, one position, one person, one arrangement, one door, and says, if this does not open, I am lost. But divine intelligence is not limited to the road your present thought can imagine. Infinite Spirit may use the expected way, or it may use a better way. It may open the door you see, or it may close that door and open another selected by divine wisdom. Your part is not to force the channel. Your part is to bless the channel without making it God, to speak the right word, to follow right guidance, and to remain in peace. When money seems delayed, do not say, "My supply is delayed." Say, "This channel may be delayed, but infinite spirit is not delayed." When one plan closes, do not say, "My good is lost." Say, "This plan was not the final source of my good. Divine selection is at work." When one person fails to respond, do not say, "I am forgotten." Say, "No human silence can silence divine law. My appointed good comes through right channels under grace." This is freedom. It is not indifference. It is not carelessness. It is not denial. It is the right placing of faith. When faith is placed in money itself, the heart rises and falls with every visible change. When faith is placed in God as source, money can move without moving the foundation of the soul. Then one may receive money with gratitude and release money with blessing. One may have much without arrogance and little without terror. One may use what is present wisely while expecting greater good under grace. Supply is spiritual before visible. This is a great secret of peace. Before the bread is on the table, supply exists in divine mind. Before the coin is in the purse, supply exists in divine substance. Before the door has opened, the idea of the door exists in infinite intelligence. Before the letter arrives, before the appointment is made, before the right person speaks, before the visible answer appears, the supply is already real in spirit. The visible form is the last stage, not the first cause. Therefore, do not judge supply only by what the eye sees. The eye sees the table before the meal is placed upon it, and says, "It is empty." Faith says, "The table is prepared in divine mind." The eye sees the purse before the money appears and says, "It is lacking." Faith says, "Supply is taking form." The eye sees the closed door and says, "There is no way." Faith says, "Infinite intelligence knows the way and opens it under grace." The senses report the present appearance. The word of faith announces the spiritual reality, and the spiritual reality is this: God is the source of your supply. Not money, not chance, not struggle, not human favor, not fear, not the one channel you have watched so anxiously. God is the source. Infinite spirit is the fountain. Divine love is the atmosphere of all true good. Divine law is the method by which good takes form. The spoken word is the mold. Faith is the acceptance. Expectancy is the open door in consciousness. Right action is the obedient step. And money, when needed, is one of the visible forms through which supply appears. So let money become simple again. Let it become clean in your thought. Let it lose its terror. Let it lose its false crown. Let it lose the weight of shame. Let it lose the burden of being your God. Let it be a servant, a symbol, a useful form. Let it come in peace. Let it go in peace. Let it circulate in peace. Let it be blessed, not feared. Let it be used, not worshipped. Let it be received, not idolized. Let it be released, not mourned. I do not worship money, and I do not fear it. Money is not my source. Infinite spirit is my source. I bless every form through which my good appears. The channel may change, but the source is changeless. Money is a servant of divine order when held in faith. Let these words cleanse the old confusion. Let them pass through the places where guilt and longing have been tangled together. Let them pass through the places where fear and desire have fought with one another. Let them pass through the places where you thought you must either chase money or reject it. There is another way. The way of blessing, the way of order, the way of divine use. The wealth that comes under divine law is not a fever. It is not a restless grasping after things. It is not the desire to stand above another. It is not the noisy triumph of the ego. True prosperity is right expression. It is peace in the affairs. It is freedom to do what is yours to do. It is the ability to give where divine love directs. It is the power to meet obligations without fear. It is the ability to create beauty, support good work, nourish the household, answer the divine idea, and move through life without the constant lash of lack. Prosperity under grace is harmony, not vanity. When the soul is afraid of money, it cannot use money well. When the soul worships money, it cannot use money wisely. But when the soul sees money as a servant of divine order, then money may be received with gratitude and directed with wisdom. It may be used for right shelter, right nourishment, right learning, right service, right beauty, right generosity, right work, right rest. It may serve the divine design instead of ruling the human heart. I would have you feel no guilt in blessing money. A blessed instrument becomes a better instrument. If a cup is used to give water, you do not despise the cup, because it is not the spring. You bless the spring, and you are grateful for the cup. If a lamp gives light, you do not worship the lamp as the sun, nor do you curse it because it is made of metal. You use it rightly. So it is with money. It is not the spring. It is not the sun. It is an instrument through which good may be carried. Bless the source, and bless the instrument into right use. There have been those who thought poverty made them spiritual, but poverty in itself is not holiness. There have been those who thought wealth made them safe, but wealth in itself is not peace. Holiness is right relation to God. Peace is right relation to divine law. Prosperity is supply rightly understood, rightly received, rightly used, and rightly circulated. The one who has little may be free if he knows the source. The one who has much may be bound if he worships the form. But the one who knows God as source can receive, use, bless, and release without losing the center. Let the center be restored tonight. The center is not money. The center is not need. The center is not a bill, not a fear, not a plan, not a person. The center is infinite spirit. From that center, all right things may be arranged. From that center, right money may appear. From that center, right work may unfold. From that center, right ideas may come. From that center, right opportunities may be selected. From that center, right giving and right receiving may be established. When money is outside divine order, the mind becomes restless. It counts without peace. It spends without blessing. It saves with fear. It gives with resentment. It receives with guilt. It plans with strain. But when money is placed in divine order, the mind begins to quiet. It counts with gratitude. It spends with wisdom. It saves with peace. It gives with love. It receives with humility and joy. It plans under guidance. It rests in the source. This is what I speak over you tonight. Money is now placed in divine order, in your consciousness, not as master, not as enemy, not as idol, not as burden, not as shame, not as fear, but as servant. Money is now placed in divine order, in your consciousness. Let the old fear loosen. Let the old obsession loosen. Let the old guilt loosen. Let the old contempt loosen. Let the old confusion loosen. Money is now placed in divine order in your consciousness. You may say, I need money, or I am lost. But I teach you to say, I need not fear, for the source has many channels. You may say, if this one way fails, everything fails. But I teach you to say, no channel is God, and God has endless ways. You may say, I cannot rest until I see the money. But I teach you to say, I rest in the source, and the form appears under grace. You may say, money is difficult. But I teach you to say, divine supply is natural, and money takes form in right ways. I need not fear, for the source has many channels. Let that word bring breath back into the heart. I need not fear, for the source has many channels. You do not need to know them all tonight. You do not need to name them. You do not need to force them. You do not need to decide which one must open. Infinite intelligence knows the channel. Infinite spirit selects the way. Divine love does not forget your need. Divine law is able to bring forth what is required. I need not fear, for the source has many channels. Again, I need not fear, for the source has many channels. Again, I need not fear, for the source has many channels. If one channel is delayed, the source remains. If one door is closed, the source remains. If one opportunity passes, the source remains. If one plan dissolves, the source remains. If one human promise fails, the source remains. If one visible form changes, the source remains. And because the source remains, your peace may remain. This is the peace I would have you carry into sleep. A peace not dependent upon the amount visible tonight. A peace not dependent upon one human answer. A peace not dependent upon the appearance of certainty. A peace that says, God is my source, and money is one form of supply. A peace that says, I bless the form, but I trust the source. A peace that says, I do not worship money, and I do not fear it. A peace that says, the channel may change, but the source is changeless. Now let us bless money into its right place. I bless all money that has ever passed through my hands. I bless it and release all fear attached to it. I bless all money that is with me now. I bless it and place it in divine order. I bless all money that is appointed to come. I welcome it under grace in perfect ways. I bless all money that goes forth from me. It goes forth to bless, and it returns according to divine law. I bless every honest channel. I bless every right opportunity. I bless every divine idea that becomes supply. I bless the visible form, and I honor the invisible source. Let this blessing soften the relationship. Money need not bring tension to the body. Money need not make the breath shallow. Money need not awaken shame. Money need not call forth old memories of fear. Money may now be associated with blessing, order, gratitude, circulation, and peace. The subconscious may learn a new feeling concerning it. Not clutching, not dread, not worship, not guilt. Peace. Money is blessed in my thought. Money is ordered in my affairs. Money is guided by divine wisdom. Money is used by divine love. Money is received with gratitude. Money is circulated with faith. Money is governed by divine law. Money is not my source. Infinite Spirit is my source. As these words settle in, the old extremes begin to fade. The soul no longer swings between craving and fear, between shame and desire, between clutching and rejecting. It becomes still. It becomes teachable. It becomes reverent. It learns that supply is holy because its source is God, and money is useful when it serves that supply in right ways. There is no need to despise what may become a blessing. There is no need to idolize what is only a channel. There is no need to fear what can be placed under divine law. There is no need to chase what can be received under grace. There is no need to cling to what circulates by law. There is no need to be ashamed of what can be used by love. Let money be purified in your mind tonight. Let it be washed of fear. Let it be washed of guilt. Let it be washed of false importance. Let it be washed of resentment. Let it be washed of old family sayings, old disappointments, old panics, old losses, old confusion. Let it stand simply as a form of supply, capable of blessing and being blessed. I do not worship money, and I do not fear it. Money is not my source. Infinite Spirit is my source. I bless every form through which my good appears. The channel may change, but the source is changeless. Money is a servant of divine order when held in faith. Now let the words become slower. I do not worship money. I do not fear money. I bless money. I place money in divine order. I receive it under grace. I use it with wisdom. I circulate it with faith. I release guilt. I release dread. I release obsession. I trust the source. The source has many channels. The source has many channels. The source has many channels. Rest in that. There is no need to grasp at one way. There is no need to call one visible condition final. There is no need to make a god of the channel. There is no need to fear the absence of one form when Infinite Spirit contains all forms. Divine supply is not small. Divine supply is not confused. Divine supply is not exhausted. Divine supply is not dependent upon your fear. As you sleep, let the deep mind receive the right relation. God first, divine law first, divine order first, faith first, blessing first. Then the forms take their proper places. Money in its proper place, work in its proper place, opportunity in its proper place, giving in its proper place, receiving in its proper place, rest in its proper place, peace in its proper place, everything in divine order. Let that be the atmosphere of this section of the night. Everything in divine order, money in divine order, supply in divine order, the heart in divine order, the word in divine order, the channels in divine order, the opportunities in divine order, the receiving and the releasing in divine order. You are not lost because you need money. You are not unspiritual because you desire supply. You are not wrong to ask that your needs be met beautifully and fully under grace. But you must remember the source. You must let money be servant, not sovereign. You must bless it, not fear it. You must use it, not worship it. You must receive it, not apologize for it. You must circulate it, not clutch it in terror. You must place it under the law of good. And so, I speak a word of peace over your relationship with money tonight. May money cease to frighten you. May money cease to rule your sleep. May money cease to carry the voice of old fear. May money cease to be a symbol of shame. May money cease to be a false god. May money become a servant of divine order. May money become a blessed form of supply. May money come rightly, remain rightly, go forth rightly, and return rightly. May every channel be blessed, and may the source be remembered above them all. God is the source. Infinite Spirit is the source. Divine love is the source. Money is only a form. The form is blessed. The source is trusted. The channel may change. The source is changeless. And because the source is changeless, you may rest. You may rest when a channel changes. You may rest when a door closes. You may rest when one plan is not selected. You may rest when money seems to be moving. You may rest because your faith is not in the movement of money, but in the steady law of infinite supply. You may rest because you do not worship money, and you do not fear it. You may rest because you bless every form through which your good appears. You may rest because the source has many channels, and infinite intelligence knows them all. Now let the night hold this truth for you. Money is not my source. Infinite Spirit is my source. Money is not my master. Divine law is my authority. Money is not my fear. Divine love is my peace. Money is not my God. God is my unfailing supply. Money is a servant of divine order when held in faith, and I hold it in faith. I bless it in faith. I receive it in faith. I circulate it in faith. I release it in faith. I rest in faith. So let the heart grow quiet. Let the mind stop bowing before the form. Let the soul return to the fountain. The visible form will be cared for by the invisible source. The needed money will appear through right channels. The right use will be revealed. The right action will be guided. The right order will be established. For God is the source, and the source has not failed. God is the source, and the source has many channels. God is the source, and the source is awake. God is the source, and the source is enough. Rest now in the source. Bless the form. Trust the fountain. Let money take its proper place. Let peace take its proper place. Let divine order take its proper place. And sleep beneath the quiet truth. The channel may change, but the source is changeless. And now, let us bless the money that comes in. Let us bless it before it arrives. Let us bless it as it appears. And let us bless it after it has entered your life. Let us not receive with a frightened hand, nor with a guilty heart, nor with the inward shrinking that says, perhaps this is too much, perhaps I do not deserve it, perhaps I must apologize for the good that has come to me. No, dear heart. What is yours by divine right comes under grace, and when it comes, it is to be received with gratitude, dignity, wisdom, and peace. There is an art of receiving. Many know how to ask with desperation, but few know how to receive without fear. Many know how to pray when there is need, but when the answer begins to appear, they meet it with suspicion, embarrassment, or anxiety. They say, is this really for me? Will it last? What if it goes away? What if something happens to take it from me? And by such questions they do not honor the gift. They disturb it. They wrap the incoming good in the old garments of fear. Tonight, we remove those garments. Tonight, we let receiving become holy and simple. Tonight, you may learn to welcome your good as one who understands the source, not as one grasping, not as one boasting, not as one trying to take from another, but as one who knows that divine supply is infinite, that infinite spirit is lavish and wise, and that what belongs to you by divine right does not impoverish another soul by coming to you. I receive without fear, for I receive under grace. Let those words settle softly in the heart. I receive without fear, for I receive under grace. I do not receive as a thief. I do not receive as a beggar. I do not receive as one who must hide her good. I do not receive as one who is ashamed before divine love. I receive as a steward, not as a frightened servant. I receive as one entrusted with good. I receive as one who will bless, circulate, use rightly, express wisely, give joyfully, and rest gratefully. There is dignity in right receiving. The flower does not apologize for receiving the rain. The field does not apologize for receiving the sun. The tree does not apologize for bearing fruit in its season. The cup does not apologize when it is filled. And the soul need not apologize when divine supply takes form. To reject good through guilt is not humility. It is another form of unbelief. It says perhaps divine love may give to others, but not to me. It says perhaps the source is abundant, but I must stand aside. It says perhaps my good is too good, but I say to you, nothing is too good to be true. Nothing is too wonderful to happen. Nothing is too good to last when it is yours by divine right and comes under grace in perfect ways. Let that word cleanse the old guilt. Nothing is too good to be true. Nothing is too wonderful to happen. Nothing is too good to last. These words do not invite vanity. They invite faith. They do not encourage grasping. They open the heart to divine possibility. They teach the subconscious that good may come naturally, beautifully, safely, and remain in right order. They tell the soul that it need not shrink when the blessing approaches. Perhaps you have been trained to brace yourself when money comes. Perhaps you have believed that every receiving must be followed by a loss, every blessing by a burden, every gift by a demand. Perhaps even when money enters your life, you have not truly received it. You have counted it with tension, held it with fear, and already imagined its departure. In such a state, receiving is not receiving. It is only fear wearing the appearance of possession. But now, we bless the incoming good. We allow it to enter a peaceful consciousness. We greet it as divine substance made visible in one of its forms. We give thanks before we decide what it must do. We bless it before we divide it. We recognize it before we fear losing it. We let the soul say, my good comes from God, and I welcome it with gratitude. My good comes from God, and I welcome it with gratitude. Again, my good comes from God, and I welcome it with gratitude. Again, my good comes from God, and I welcome it with gratitude. Gratitude opens the way. Gratitude is not mere politeness of the spirit. It is recognition. It is the soul saying, I see the source behind the form. I see divine love behind the channel. I see divine order behind the appearing. I do not call this chance. I do not call this accident. I do not call this too little or too late. I bless it as part of the flow of my good. When money comes to you, bless it immediately. Do not let fear touch it first. Do not let complaint touch it first. Do not let calculation touch it first. Let blessing touch it first. Before you say, it is not enough, bless it. Before you say, it must go at once, bless it. Before you say, I hope this lasts, bless it. Blessing establishes the atmosphere in which money may serve rightly. You may say, I bless this money, and see it multiplied in wise and perfect ways. Say it with serenity, I bless this money, and see it multiplied in wise and perfect ways, not foolish ways, not vain ways, not anxious ways, wise and perfect ways, under grace, according to divine order, in harmony with right use, right giving, right saving, right circulation, right expression, and right peace. For money that is blessed is not merely enlarged, it is ordered, it is placed in the current of good. I bless this money, and see it multiplied in wise and perfect ways. Let this become natural. Let it be your first inward motion when money arrives. A payment, a gift, a return, a wage, a dividend, an unexpected sum, a debt repaid, an opportunity fulfilled, a sale completed, a letter containing good news, an envelope received at the right hour, a provision appearing through a channel you had not planned, whatever the form. Bless it. Look beyond the form and recognize the source. The channel may be human, but the source is divine. The channel may be ordinary, but the law behind it is not ordinary. The channel may be small, but the source is infinite. Therefore, do not despise small sums. Do not say, this is only a little. Do not insult the seed because it is not yet the tree. A small sum blessed in faith may carry the pattern of increase. A little received with gratitude may open the door to more. A coin blessed rightly is not merely a coin, it is an occasion to train consciousness in supply. If you receive a little, bless it as much as you would bless a great sum. If you receive much, bless it with the same humility with which you would bless a little. The amount must not decide the quality of your gratitude. Gratitude is not measured by quantity, it is measured by recognition. The one who blesses the little has learned the law of multiplication. The one who blesses the much without pride has learned the law of stewardship. Both are free. I receive as a steward, not as a frightened servant. A steward does not tremble before the gift. A steward does not say, I am unworthy to touch this good. A steward receives, blesses, listens, and uses wisely. A steward understands that all good comes from the source and is to be directed by divine wisdom. A steward is neither careless nor anxious. A steward is reverent. A steward asks not, how may I clutch this in fear? But, how may this be placed in divine order? How may this bless my life and the lives I am appointed to bless? How may this serve the divine design? Receiving allows you to bless, give, serve, and express. This is why guilt must be released. If you reject your good, you diminish your ability to give from fullness. If you are ashamed of receiving, you make a prison out of false humility. If you believe that your supply takes from another, you misunderstand the infinite nature of God. The divine does not give to one by robbing another. Infinite supply is not a loaf so small that one must go hungry if another is fed. Divine substance is inexhaustible, and each one receives according to consciousness, faith, right action, and divine right. Therefore do not say, who am I to receive? Say, I am a child of divine love, and I receive what is mine by divine right under grace. Do not say, others need it more, therefore I must refuse my good. Say, infinite spirit supplies all, and my receiving does not limit another's receiving. Do not say, I should be ashamed of abundance. Say, I receive with wisdom, and my abundance is used in love. Do not say, this is too good for me. Say, nothing is too good to be true when it comes from God in perfect ways. There is a quiet nobility in receiving rightly. It is not noisy. It does not display itself. It does not glorify the personality. It does not say, look what I have obtained. It says, thank you, infinite spirit. It says, this good is blessed. It says, I am trusted with supply, and I shall not turn it into fear. It says, I receive under grace and I use under guidance. When money enters your hands, imagine it entering a sanctuary, not a place of panic. Let your hands become peaceful. Let your breath remain easy. Let the body learn that receiving does not mean danger. Many bodies have been trained to contract when money appears because the mind has associated money with pressure. Tonight, let the body be retrained. Money comes and I breathe. Money comes and I bless. Money comes and I give thanks. Money comes and I place it in divine order. Money comes and I remain at peace. I receive without fear, for I receive under grace. I bless this money and see it multiplied in wise and perfect ways. I do not apologize for the good that is mine by divine right. My good comes from God, and I welcome it with gratitude. I receive as a steward, not as a frightened servant. Let these words be impressed upon the deep mind. Let them become the new feeling of receiving. Not tension, not guilt, not suspicion, not the old fear that says, it will leave me, not the old shame that says, I should not have too much, not the old habit that says, I must hide my blessing. A new feeling, gratitude, peace, dignity, stewardship, divine order. Perhaps you have been afraid that if you receive more, you will become selfish. But selfishness does not come from money. It comes from separation from divine love. Money in the hands of fear may become a weapon. Money in the hands of vanity may become a mask. But money in the hands of divine love becomes bread, shelter, beauty, education, healing, opportunity, rest, service, and right expression. Do not fear the good that comes under grace. Ask only that it be rightly used. You may say, Infinite Spirit, teach me to receive wisely. Teach me to use wisely. Teach me to give wisely. Teach me to circulate wisely. Teach me to hold without fear and release without dread. Teach me to let every form of supply serve divine love. That is a prayer of stewardship. It opens the way for more, because it aligns receiving with right purpose. The divine gives lavishly and wisely, lavishly, because Infinite Spirit is not poor, wisely, because divine love does not feed vanity. It fulfills divine design. When you receive under grace, you need not fear excess, misuse, or confusion. You can ask to be guided. You can ask that all supply be ordered. You can ask that every incoming good find its right place. There are some who push away money through guilt and then wonder why supply seems delayed. They say, I do not need much, but beneath the words is not peace, it is fear of receiving. They say, I should not desire more, but beneath the words is not holiness, it is shame. They say, I am content, but beneath the words is resignation, not faith. True contentment does not reject good. True contentment rests in the source and receives what divine love sends. It does not grasp, but it does not refuse. It does not demand, but it welcomes. It does not worship the gift, but it blesses the giver through right use of the gift. Let the false modesty fall away. Let the inherited guilt fall away. Let the fear of being seen with good fall away. Let the old suspicion of abundance fall away. You are not asked to become proud. You are asked to become receptive. You are not asked to become greedy. You are asked to stop calling divine provision too good for you. You are not asked to take what is not yours. You are asked to receive what is yours by divine right. What is mine by divine right now comes to me, and I receive it under grace. Let the heart open softly. What is mine by divine right now comes to me, and I receive it under grace. Not what belongs to another, not what is forced, not what is taken, not what is born of strain. What is mine by divine right, what is selected by infinite intelligence, what belongs to my divine design, what supports my perfect self-expression, what enables right living, right giving, right action, right peace. What is mine by divine right now comes to me, and I receive it under grace. Again, what is mine by divine right now comes to me, and I receive it under grace. Again, what is mine by divine right now comes to me, and I receive it under grace. There is safety in divine right. It removes grasping. It removes envy. It removes comparison. It removes the fear of taking from another. It says I receive my own. It says I bless another's good, and I receive mine. It says the divine has appointed enough for each expression. It says I need not seize, for I may be supplied. I need not compete in fear, for divine selection knows what belongs to me. I need not shrink, for refusing my own good does not bless the world. When you receive money, give thanks before you assign it. Thanksgiving sanctifies the moment. It lifts the mind above mere calculation. It says, I recognize the source. Then, in that atmosphere, wisdom may speak. Some money will be used. Some will be saved. Some will be circulated. Some will be given. Some will be invested in right expression. Some will provide rest. Some will meet obligations. Some will open doors. But before the division, bless the whole. Bless the incoming good as one movement of divine supply. I bless this incoming good. I thank Infinite Spirit for it. I place it in divine order. I see it multiplied in wise and perfect ways. I use it in love. I circulate it in faith. I receive it in peace. Let this become a quiet ritual of consciousness, not superstition, not anxious repetition, a sacred recognition. Each time money comes, you pause inwardly and bless, even if only for a moment, even if the amount is small, even if the mind is tempted to hurry into worry. Pause, bless, thank, receive, place it in divine order. The first touch matters. The first thought matters. The first word matters. The first word matters. If money arrives and the first thought is fear, the money enters an atmosphere of confusion. If money arrives and the first thought is complaint, it enters an atmosphere of lack. If money arrives and the first thought is gratitude, it enters an atmosphere of increase. Blessing is the door through which money enters rightly. Let your receiving become peaceful. Money comes, and I bless it. Money comes, and I thank God. Money comes, and I do not fear. Money comes, and I do not apologize. Money comes, and I place it in divine order. Money comes, and I see it multiplied under grace. Money comes, and I remain centered in the source. There is no shame in having your needs met. There is no shame in being provided for. There is no shame in beauty, comfort, right rest, right shelter, right work, right opportunity, and right expression. Shame belongs to fear, not to divine love. If good comes from God, received under grace, used in wisdom and circulated in love, it is blessed. Let no old voice tell you that you must refuse what Infinite Spirit has sent. Sometimes good appears, and the old mind immediately tries to explain it away. It says, "This was only luck. This will not happen again. This is not enough. This came too late. This must mean a new burden is coming." See how fear tries to spoil the feast before the bread is broken. It cannot simply allow the blessing to be blessed. Tonight, we refuse that habit. When good comes, we do not let fear interpret it. We let gratitude interpret it. We let faith interpret it. We let divine law interpret it. If a small sum comes, say, "This is a sign of flow, and I bless it." If a large sum comes, say, "This is divine supply and form, and I receive it wisely." If an unexpected gift comes, say, "Infinite Spirit has many channels." If an old debt is repaid, say, "Divine order is established." If work brings reward, say, "My right expression is blessed." If money comes through a way you did not plan, say, "Infinite intelligence knows the way." Do not reduce a blessing by calling it an accident. Do not make small what God has used as a sign. Do not insult supply, because it did not arrive exactly as you imagined. Bless the channel, and trust the source. Bless the amount, and expect increase. Bless the timing, and let divine order continue its work. Bless the form, and do not cling to it. Bless, receive, give thanks, and remain open. I accept my good. I accept it under grace. I accept it without fear. I accept it without guilt. I accept it without apology. I accept it with gratitude and wisdom. I accept it as part of divine supply. Let those words move through the body. I accept my good. Some hearts have been trained to reject before they receive. Some hands have been trained to close even while good is being offered. Some minds have been trained to suspect kindness. But divine love can retrain the whole being. You may learn to accept without shrinking. You may learn to say thank you without embarrassment. You may learn to let the good enter and remain. I accept my good. Again, I accept my good, under grace in perfect ways. Let this be not a grasping statement, but a peaceful one. I accept my good means I stop fighting divine love. I accept my good means I stop pushing away the answer because it is unfamiliar. I accept my good means I allow the source to bless me in ways I could not have arranged. I accept my good means I am willing to be trusted with supply. And if the heart asks, "But am I worthy?" answer gently. Worthiness is not earned by fear. Divine right is not purchased by anxiety. You are not receiving because the frightened self has proven itself perfect. You are receiving because divine law is good, because Infinite Spirit is supply, because you are willing to align your word, your faith, your action, and your acceptance with the good already prepared. You receive not as a proud personality, but as a child of God. I do not apologize for the good that is mine by divine right. Let that dissolve the old shame. I do not apologize for the good that is mine by divine right. I do not apologize for peace. I do not apologize for provision. I do not apologize for right shelter, right clothing, right food, right work, right rest, right opportunity. I do not apologize for being supplied in ways that allow me to bless, serve, express, and live with dignity. I do not apologize for divine love fulfilling its own law. To receive well is to honor the giver. If a gift is offered in love, and one refuses it from shame, the love has not been honored. But if one receives, gives thanks, and uses it rightly, the gift continues to bless. So it is with divine supply. Receive, not to hoard in fear, but to let the good fulfill its purpose. Receive, not to exalt the self, but to express the divine design. Receive, not to compare yourself with another, but to stand in your own appointed good. Your prosperity rightly held may become peace in your household. It may become generosity at the right moment. It may become freedom to follow the divine idea. It may become support for a work that blesses others. It may become time to pray, to create, to serve, to study, to rest, to heal, to give. It may become beauty where there was barrenness, order where there was confusion, dignity where there was shame. Do not fear such good. Bless it. The divine gives lavishly and wisely, lavishly because love is not narrow, wisely because true good fits the divine design. If something comes and is truly yours, it will bless you and not bind you. If something is not yours, divine selection can remove it and bring better. Therefore, you may receive without clutching. You may enjoy without fearing loss. You may bless without making the gift your God. You may hold with an open heart. There is a deep peace in receiving under grace. Under grace means not by strain, not by theft, not by manipulation, not by fear, not by human will forcing a door, but by divine law working in perfect ways. Under grace means the good comes cleanly, rightly, harmoniously, and with blessing. Under grace means the channel is selected by infinite intelligence. Under grace means the gift is not a burden disguised as supply. Under grace means the soul may rest. I receive under grace. I receive in perfect ways. I receive what is mine by divine right. I receive with gratitude. I receive with wisdom. I receive with peace. Now bless the incoming supply even before you see it. This is not fantasy. It is expectancy. It is the soul preparing a welcome. It is the house of consciousness being set in order before the guest arrives. You may say, I bless the money now on its way to me. I bless the channels now opening. I bless the people now being guided. I bless the ideas now forming. I bless the appointments now arranging. I bless the letters now moving. I bless the opportunities now selected by divine intelligence. I bless my incoming good before it appears, and I welcome it under grace. Let the mind become spacious. Let it stop deciding that only one way can bring supply. Let it stop saying, it must come through this door, this person, this plan, this hour. Bless the incoming good from expected and unexpected channels. Bless the known and the unknown. Bless the visible and the invisible. Bless the road you see and the road God sees. Bless the appointed way. My supply comes from expected and unexpected channels under grace. Again, my supply comes from expected and unexpected channels under grace. Again, my supply comes from expected and unexpected channels under grace. When money comes, do not let the old thoughts say, now I must fear losing it. Say, now I bless it into order. When money comes, do not say, this is not enough. Say, this is blessed, and more good is moving under grace. When money comes, do not say, I am not worthy. Say, I receive as a steward of divine supply. When money comes, do not say, I must hide my good. Say, I hold my good in wisdom and gratitude. Let receiving be clean. Let receiving be peaceful. Let receiving be grateful. Let receiving be wise. Let receiving be free from guilt. Let receiving be free from fear. Let receiving be part of circulation. For receiving and giving are not enemies. They are two movements of the same law. The breath comes in, and the breath goes out. The tide comes in, and the tide goes out. The seed receives from the earth and gives fruit. The heart receives blood and sends it forth. Life is circulation. To receive rightly prepares you to give rightly. To receive with gratitude prepares you to circulate with faith. To receive as a steward prepares you to use as one guided by divine love. Receiving allows me to bless, give, serve, and express. Let that answer the guilt. Receiving allows me to bless, give, serve, and express. If I refuse my good, I diminish the good that could flow through me. If I receive under grace, I become an avenue of blessing. If I receive wisely, I may give wisely. If I am supplied, I may answer the right call. If my needs are met, my mind may be free for divine ideas. If my house is in order, I may help bring order elsewhere. If my heart is at peace, my presence becomes a blessing. This is not greed. This is divine circulation. This is not vanity. This is stewardship. This is not taking from life. This is letting life move through you under grace. Now, in this soft hour, let the inner doors open. I welcome my good. I welcome divine supply. I welcome right money. I welcome right opportunities. I welcome right ideas. I welcome right channels. I welcome right increase. I welcome my appointed good under grace. Let the welcome be calm. You are not begging. You are opening. You are not demanding from fear. You are receiving under law. You are not clutching the form. You are trusting the source. You are not apologizing for your good. You are blessing it. I welcome my good under grace in perfect ways. Again, I welcome my good under grace in perfect ways. Again, I welcome my good under grace in perfect ways. There is a place in the heart that may still hesitate. Speak kindly to it. Tell it, you are safe to receive. You are safe to be supplied. You are safe to let good come. You are safe to bless money. You are safe to use it wisely. You are safe to give from overflow. You are safe to live under divine order. You are safe to let the source provide through many channels. The old fear may have said, if good comes, it will be taken. The new word says, what is mine by divine right is protected by divine law. The old guilt may have said, if I receive, I am selfish. The new word says, I receive as a steward and use in love. The old shame may have said, I do not deserve good. The new word says, divine love supplies its children under grace. The old suspicion may have said, this is too good to last. The new word says, nothing is too good to last when it is established by divine law. Let the new word be stronger, not louder, but stronger. I receive without fear. I receive under grace. I bless this money. I bless all incoming good. I see it multiplied in wise and perfect ways. I receive as a steward. I do not apologize for divine supply. My good comes from God. I welcome it with gratitude. Now let the blessing become even gentler, as though spoken over the threshold of sleep. All money coming to me is blessed. All good coming to me is blessed. Every right channel is blessed. Every appointed gift is blessed. Every honest payment is blessed. Every unexpected sum is blessed. My gratitude is blessed. My stewardship is blessed. My supply is blessed. When the good arrives, I shall not meet it with fear. I shall meet it with thanksgiving. When the money comes, I shall not shrink. I shall bless. When the opportunity appears, I shall not say, this cannot be for me. I shall say, if this is mine by divine right, I receive it under grace. When the door opens, I shall not stand outside in doubt. I shall be guided in right action. The good that comes to me is not an accident. It is part of divine order. The money that comes to me is not my master. It is a form of supply. The blessing that comes to me is not too good. It is selected by divine love. The increase that comes to me is not for fear. It is for wise use, right expression, generous circulation, and peace. I give thanks now for incoming good. I give thanks before I see every channel. I give thanks before I know every way. I give thanks before the outer evidence is complete. Gratitude goes before me and opens the gates. Gratitude prepares the house. Gratitude teaches the subconscious to expect good. Gratitude blesses the invisible and welcomes the visible. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, for my supply. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, for right channels. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, for divine order. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, for money that comes under grace. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, for wisdom to receive and use it rightly. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, for the good that is mine by divine right. Let thanksgiving be the fragrance of your receiving. Let it remove the harshness of fear. Let it quiet the old guilt. Let it soften the body. Let it open the hand. Let it lift the eyes from the form to the source. And now, rest in the knowledge that you are allowed to receive. You are allowed to receive peace. You are allowed to receive supply. You are allowed to receive help. You are allowed to receive right money. You are allowed to receive opportunity. You are allowed to receive divine ideas. You are allowed to receive what is yours by divine right. Receive without fear, for you receive under grace. Receive without guilt, for your good comes from God. Receive without apology, for divine love is not ashamed to bless. Receive without grasping, for the source is inexhaustible. Receive without pride, for you are a steward of the good. Receive without anxiety, for infinite intelligence knows its right use. Let the last words of this receiving be simple. My good comes from God. I welcome it with gratitude. I receive under grace. I bless what comes. I use it wisely. I circulate it lovingly. I rest in divine supply. Again, my good comes from God. I welcome it with gratitude. I receive under grace. I bless what comes. I use it wisely. I circulate it lovingly. I rest in divine supply. And again, softer still, my good comes from God. I welcome it with gratitude. I receive under grace. I bless what comes. I use it wisely. I circulate it lovingly. I rest in divine supply. Now the soul may stop shrinking. The hand may open. The heart may breathe. The mind may cease apologizing for the goods selected by divine love. The incoming money is blessed. The incoming supply is blessed. The incoming opportunities are blessed. And because it is blessed, it may multiply in wise and perfect ways. Now let us bless the money that goes forth from you. Let us speak softly to the fear that rises when money must be released. Let us speak to the tightening in the hand, the narrowing of the breath, the little inward tremor that may come when a bill is placed before you, when rent is due, when an obligation asks to be met, when money must pass from your keeping into another place. Let us speak to that old belief which says, each payment empties me, each outgoing diminishes me, each coin that leaves my hand is a sign that less remains for me. That belief has troubled many hearts. It has made necessary acts feel like losses. It has made honest payments feel like punishments. It has made the movement of money seem like depletion instead of circulation. But I say to you now, under grace and in perfect calm, paying is not losing when it is blessed. Releasing is not depletion when it is done in faith. Money that goes forth under divine law does not go into nothingness. It enters circulation. It moves through the great current of exchange, service, obligation, blessing, and return. Life itself is circulation. The breath comes in and the breath goes out. The tide comes in and the tide goes out. The heart receives and the heart sends forth. The seed receives from the earth and then gives fruit. Nothing living hoards itself in fear. Life moves, and in holy movement it is renewed. So let your money move in faith. I do not send money away in fear. I send it forth under grace. Let this be the first correction. I do not send money away in fear. I send it forth under grace. When money leaves your hand, do not let fear be the word that follows it. Do not let resentment be the tone that surrounds it. Do not let dread seal the transaction. Let blessing go with it. Let gratitude go with it. Let divine order go with it. Let the word of return go with it. Money released in fear carries the vibration of loss. Money released in faith enters the law of circulation. Many have blessed the money that comes in, but cursed the money that goes out. They rejoice when they receive, then groan when they pay. They give thanks when the channel opens, then speak bitterness when the obligation is met. They call incoming money good and outgoing money bad, as though supply were divided against itself. But divine supply is one flow. The money that comes and the money that goes are movements within the same law. If you bless only the receiving and curse the releasing, you disturb the current. You ask the river to enter, but you forbid it to move. Do not bless incoming and curse outgoing. Bless the whole circulation. Bless the money that comes. Bless the money that goes. Bless the payment. Bless the bill. Bless the obligation met. Bless the rent that provides shelter. Bless the food that nourishes the body. Bless the garment that covers you. Bless the workman paid for his labor. Bless the service that supports your life. Bless the debt being dissolved. Bless the honest exchange. Bless the money as it travels from your hand into another hand, from your household into another household, from your need into another's service, from your blessing into the larger movement of good. Say, this payment is blessed, and it returns to me multiplied in perfect ways. Do not say it as a bargain. Do not say it anxiously, as though the law must be watched with suspicion. Say it as one who understands divine circulation. This payment is blessed, and it returns to me multiplied in perfect ways. It goes forth not as a loss, but as a messenger of faith. It goes forth carrying blessing. It goes forth under grace. It goes forth to bless, and what blesses under divine law cannot return void. There is no loss in divine mind. Let that truth become a resting place. There is no loss in divine mind. There may be movement. There may be change of form. There may be release. There may be circulation. There may be an outgoing that the frightened mind calls loss. But in divine mind, nothing good is lost. Substance changes form. Blessing travels. Supply appears through new channels. What is released in faith returns by divine law. What is sent forth under grace finds its way back in wise and perfect ways. The fear of paying comes from the belief that the source is small. It comes from the belief that the coin in the hand is the whole of supply. It comes from the belief that if this amount goes, God has less with which to bless you. But infinite spirit is not diminished by your payment. Divine substance is not exhausted because an obligation is met. The source does not grow poor because money circulates through your life. Your supply is not contained in the amount you can see. The visible amount is only one appearance of a supply that is first spiritual, invisible, inexhaustible, and governed by divine law. Therefore, when you pay, do not say, I am losing. Say, I am circulating. Do not say, this empties me. Say, this moves through divine order. Do not say, I shall have less. Say, what I release in faith returns under grace. Do not say, there will not be enough. Say, God is my unfailing supply, and every demand is met in perfect ways. The act of payment can be sanctified by the word. Every transaction can become an altar if the right word is spoken over it. A bill may look like a burden until it is blessed. A rent payment may seem like a loss until it is recognized as the circulation that holds a shelter. A debt payment may feel like punishment until it is blessed as the dissolution of an old obligation. A purchase may feel like depletion until it is blessed as an exchange in divine order. The word changes the atmosphere. The word places the movement under grace. I do not send money away in fear. I send it forth under grace. Again, I do not send money away in fear. I send it forth under grace. Again, I do not send money away in fear. I send it forth under grace. Let the body hear this. Let the hand hear this. Let the nervous system hear this. Money can go forth without terror. Money can leave your hand without taking your peace. Money can be paid without making you poor in consciousness. Money can circulate without robbing you of security. The security was never in the money itself. The security is in the source. The source remains when money moves. When a bill is before you, do not meet it as an enemy. Bless it as an opportunity to prove the law of circulation. Say, this obligation is not greater than God. Say, this bill is placed in divine order. Say, the money to meet every rightful demand now appears under grace in perfect ways. Say, as I pay, I bless. As I release, I trust. As money goes forth, it enters the law of return. There is no need to tremble before the envelope, the statement, the sum, the due date, the obligation, or the human demand. Trembling adds nothing to supply. Fear does not pay the bill. Complaint does not open the channel. Panic does not multiply substance, but the right word spoken in faith opens the way to right action, right timing, right provision, and right peace. What I release in faith returns by divine law. Let this become a gentle rhythm. What I release in faith returns by divine law. What I release in fear becomes tangled in fear. What I release in resentment carries resentment. What I release in blessing carries blessing. Therefore, I release in faith. I release with the word. I release under grace. I release into divine circulation. I release without making the outgoing a curse. There have been many who hoarded in fear and called it prudence. They clutched and tightened and believed that safety came from never allowing money to move. But hoarding through fear blocks flow. There is wisdom in right saving, but fear is not wisdom. There is order in right stewardship, but panic is not order. There is discernment in right use, but clutching is not discernment. When money is held only by fear, it becomes heavy. It loses the joy of circulation. It becomes surrounded by suspicion. It seems never enough, no matter how much is present, because the consciousness holding it is full of loss. Right stewardship is peaceful. Fearful hoarding is restless. Right saving says, this money is assigned by divine wisdom. Fearful hoarding says, if I release anything, I shall perish. Right stewardship blesses both the money kept and the money released. Fearful hoarding blesses nothing, trusts nothing, and fears everything. Tonight, we choose stewardship. We choose divine order. We choose circulation under grace. There is no loss in divine mind. Again, there is no loss in divine mind. Let the old fear be answered by this truth. If money must be paid, there is no loss in divine mind. If an obligation must be met, there is no loss in divine mind. If a sum leaves your hand for a rightful purpose, there is no loss in divine mind. If money goes forth to provide, support, nourish, shelter, repair, honor, or bless, there is no loss in divine mind. There is only circulation, right use and return under grace. My money goes forth to bless, and it comes back bless. Say it slowly. My money goes forth to bless, and it comes back bless. Let this word follow every payment. My money goes forth to bless, and it comes back bless. Let it follow the rent. Let it follow the food. Let it follow the debt paid. Let it follow the gift given. Let it follow the service purchased. Let it follow the fare paid for travel. Let it follow the garment, the medicine, the book, the work, the tool, the household need. My money goes forth to bless, and it comes back bless. When you pay for shelter, bless the shelter. Bless the walls that hold you, the roof that covers you, the rooms that receive your rest. Say, this payment is blessed, and my home is blessed. It goes forth under grace and returns in perfect ways. When you pay for food, bless the nourishment, bless the field, the hands that labored, the table, the body receiving strength. Say, this money goes forth to bless, and it comes back blessed. When you pay a debt, bless the release. Say, this obligation is dissolving in divine order, and I am free under grace. When you pay for work done, bless the worker. Say, this exchange is blessed, and both giver and receiver prosper under divine law. Do you see how the world changes when the word changes? The same payment that once felt like a drain becomes a channel. The same bill that once awakened dread becomes an opportunity to establish divine order. The same outgoing money that once seemed to vanish now goes forth carrying a blessing and a command of return. The outer act may appear the same, but the consciousness has changed, and consciousness is the mold. Every blessed payment enters the law of circulation. Let that word replace the old fear. Every blessed payment enters the law of circulation. Not every resentful payment, not every panicked payment, not every cursed payment, every blessed payment. The blessing is the consecration. The blessing is the word that places it under divine law. The blessing says, This is not loss. This is movement in the kingdom of supply. This goes forth in faith. This returns under grace. If you must pay something tonight or tomorrow, do not let the mind rehearse the old dread. Speak now over it before the hour comes. Say, that payment is already blessed. The supply to meet it is already in divine mind. The channel opens under grace. I shall not fear it. I shall not curse it. I shall not make it my master. I place it in divine order. I bless the money that meets it, and I bless the return. There is great peace in blessing an obligation before it is met. Fear approaches an obligation and says, how shall this be done? Faith approaches and says, infinite intelligence knows the way. Fear says, this will empty me. Faith says, there is no loss in divine mind. Fear says, I hate this payment. Faith says, I bless this circulation. Fear says, money is leaving me. Faith says, money goes forth under grace and returns in perfect ways. Let us speak to the fear of bills, softly and firmly. A bill is not a prophecy of lack. A bill is a call for divine order. A bill is not greater than the source. A bill is not a sentence against your future. A bill is not proof that you are unsupported. A bill is an appearance to be met by the right word, right action, and right supply. It is placed under divine law now. Every rightful obligation in my life is met under grace in perfect ways. Again, every rightful obligation in my life is met under grace in perfect ways. Again, every rightful obligation in my life is met under grace in perfect ways. This does not mean you act foolishly. It means you act from guidance, not panic. It means you speak faith before action. It means you allow the right idea to come. It means you do not worship the size of the obligation. It means you remember the size of the source. It means you bless the payment, bless the channel, bless the timing, and bless the order being established. There is a way to pay that drains the soul, and there is a way to pay that frees it. The draining way is to pay while saying inwardly, I am losing, I am less, I am afraid, there will not be enough. The freeing way is to pay while saying, I circulate in faith, there is no loss in divine mind. This money goes forth to bless, and returns blessed. The hand may perform the same action, but the inner law being invoked is different. Spending in fear says, I am separate from supply. Circulating in faith says, I am within divine supply. Spending in fear says, the money is gone. Circulating in faith says, the money has gone forth under grace. Spending in fear says, I am diminished. Circulating in faith says, I am part of the movement of good. Spending in fear says, I must clutch what remains. Circulating in faith says, I steward what remains, and trust the source of more. Spending in fear says, this payment is a loss. Circulating in faith says, this payment is blessed, and enters the law of return. Let the difference be impressed deeply, gently. Spending in fear tightens, circulating in faith opens. Spending in fear curses, circulating in faith blesses. Spending in fear isolates, circulating in faith connects the act to divine order. Spending in fear ends at the visible transaction. Circulating in faith continues into the invisible law of return. What I release in faith returns by divine law. Again, what I release in faith returns by divine law. Again, what I release in faith returns by divine law. Do not use this word greedily. Do not use it as a trick. Use it as law. Use it with reverence. Use it to heal the fear of releasing. Use it to place outgoing money under grace. Use it to remind your subconscious that payment is not annihilation. Use it to teach the body that the movement of money can be safe. Use it to establish a new rhythm of trust. If you give, give with blessing. If you pay, pay with blessing. If you buy, buy with blessing. If you repay, repay with blessing. If you send money to meet a need, send it with blessing. If you place a coin in another hand, bless both hands. If you write a sum, speak peace over it. If you settle an obligation, say divine order is established. Let no money leave you unnamed by blessing. This is not superstition. It is consecrated speech. It is the training of consciousness. It is the refusal to let fear interpret circulation. It is the placement of every financial movement under divine law. The mind that blesses money both coming and going becomes a peaceful place for supply. The mind that curses outgoing money and clutches incoming money becomes a place of conflict. Let there be no conflict. Let there be one law. All my supply is from God, and all money in my life is blessed, ordered, circulated, and multiplied under grace. All my supply is from God. All money in my life is blessed. All money in my life is ordered. All money in my life circulates under grace. All money in my life serves divine love. All money in my life returns in perfect ways. Now let the fear of depletion be answered. Fear says, if I pay, I shall have less. Faith says, if I bless what I pay, it enters circulation. Fear says, if I release, I am unsafe. Faith says, my safety is in the source. Fear says, if I give, I lose. Faith says, what is released in love returns in law. Fear says, hold tightly. Faith says, steward wisely and circulate freely when guided. Fear says, there is no more. Faith says, infinite spirit is inexhaustible. There is no loss in divine mind. Let the words descend. There is no loss in divine mind. There is wise use. There is right distribution. There is circulation. There is return. There is multiplication under grace. There is divine adjustment. There is unexpected provision. There is the appointed channel. There is the right idea. There is the open way. But there is no loss in divine mind. If something has left your life and truly belonged to you by divine right, it must return in its own right form, or its equivalent, or something better. If money has gone forth rightly, it is not lost. If money has gone forth through error, divine wisdom can teach, restore, and reorder. If money has been scattered through fear, tonight it is called back into divine order. If money has been released with resentment, tonight the resentment is cancelled, and blessing is placed upon the circulation. The law can restore order where confusion has been. I now bless all money I have ever released in fear. I call it into divine order. Let that be part of the cleansing. I now bless all money I have ever released in fear. I call it into divine order. I bless all payments made with anxiety. I bless all sums released with resentment. I bless all money spent in confusion. I bless all money given with guilt. I bless all money lost through ignorance. I bless it now and release the fear attached to it. I call divine order into every past transaction. I call wisdom from every experience. I call restoration under grace in perfect ways. You need not carry regret over money. Regret is another form of loss in consciousness. Learn, bless, and release. If there has been waste, bless and learn. If there has been fear, bless and replace. If there has been confusion, bless and invite divine order. If there has been debt, bless the process of release. If there has been delay, bless divine timing. If there has been pressure, bless peace. The past is not to be worshipped as failure. It is to be placed under grace. Every past payment is blessed. Every present payment is blessed. Every future payment is blessed. All money that has gone forth is placed in divine order. All money that goes forth now is placed in divine order. All money that will go forth is placed in divine order. There is no loss in divine mind. Now, let us speak over obligations with calm. Obligations do not frighten me. They are placed in divine order. Bills do not frighten me. They are placed in divine order. Payments do not frighten me. They are placed in divine order. Rent does not frighten me. It is placed in divine order. Debts do not frighten me. They are dissolved under grace in perfect ways. Expenses do not frighten me. They are met by divine supply. The movement of money does not frighten me. It circulates under divine law. I do not send money away in fear. I send it forth under grace. This payment is blessed, and it returns to me multiplied in perfect ways. There is no loss in divine mind. What I release in faith returns by divine law. My money goes forth to bless, and it comes back blessed. Let these 5 words become a garland around every outgoing sum. Not spoken in tension, not forced, not hurried. Spoken with the quiet knowledge that money is a servant of divine order. The body relaxes as the word is spoken. The hand opens without panic. The heart remains centered. The mind remembers the source. I do not send money away in fear. I send it forth under grace. This payment is blessed, and it returns to me multiplied in perfect ways. There is no loss in divine mind. What I release in faith returns by divine law. My money goes forth to bless, and it comes back blessed, now softer. I send it forth under grace. It returns in perfect ways. There is no loss. I release in faith. It comes back blessed. Again, I send it forth under grace. It returns in perfect ways. There is no loss. I release in faith. It comes back blessed. This is how the fear of paying is healed. Not by denying obligations, not by refusing right action, not by pretending money never moves, but by changing the consciousness in which it moves. You no longer pay as one being emptied. You pay as one participating in circulation. You no longer release as one abandoned. You release as one supplied by the source. You no longer meet bills as enemies. You meet them as opportunities for divine order to be demonstrated. A payment made in fear seems to close a door. A payment blessed in faith may open a door. A payment made in resentment seems to shrink the heart. A payment made under grace expands trust. A payment cursed as loss teaches the subconscious depletion. A payment blessed as circulation teaches the subconscious return. Therefore, when the next payment comes before you, pause. Let the old reaction pass without obeying it. Let the breath soften. Place the matter in divine order. Say, this is not greater than God. This is not outside divine law. This is not a reason for fear. This money goes forth under grace. This payment is blessed. What I release in faith returns by divine law. If you cannot yet say it aloud, say it inwardly. If the feeling of fear is still present, do not be troubled. Speak the word anyway, gently. The word will begin to train the feeling. Faith may begin as a sentence before it becomes a sensation. Peace may begin as a word before it becomes an atmosphere. Speak, bless, and allow the deeper mind to learn. The subconscious has perhaps learned to contract at the sight of outgoing money. Tonight we give it another instruction. Outgoing money is not danger. Outgoing money is circulation. Outgoing money is blessed. Outgoing money is placed under divine law. Outgoing money goes forth to bless and returns blessed. Outgoing money does not empty me, for my source is infinite spirit. Outgoing money does not end my supply, for there is no loss in divine mind. Let the subconscious hear it until it becomes natural. Outgoing money is blessed. Outgoing money is circulation. Outgoing money is under grace. Outgoing money returns in perfect ways. Outgoing money does not frighten me. Outgoing money does not master me. Outgoing money is placed in divine order. There is a holy ease in this relationship. Money comes, and you bless it. Money goes, and you bless it. Money remains, and you bless it. Money is assigned, and you bless it. Money is saved, and you bless it. Money is paid, and you bless it. There is blessing everywhere in the flow. The mind is no longer divided. The incoming and outgoing are not enemies. They are two sides of the same circulation. The river that only receives and never flows becomes stagnant. The river that flows from its source is renewed. Let your financial life become a river under grace. Let it receive from the source. Let it move by divine wisdom. Let it nourish what it is appointed to nourish. Let it return through rains, springs, channels, and hidden ways. The river does not fear each movement of water because it belongs to a greater circulation. You too belong to a greater circulation. Circulation is life. Say it softly. Circulation is life. Circulation is not loss. Circulation is not danger. Circulation is the movement of supply. Circulation is the breath of financial peace. Circulation is the law of coming and going under grace. Circulation is receiving and releasing in divine order. Circulation is the confidence that the source remains full. When you resist all outgoing, you resist half of life. When you curse all payment, you curse the very movement by which good travels through the world. When you bless circulation, you bless the law that allows supply to reach you and pass through you and return to you in new forms. You become part of the movement of good instead of a frightened guard over a shrinking storehouse. The storehouse of God does not shrink. Infinite spirit is inexhaustible. Divine substance cannot be depleted. The source remains full. The channels are many. The return is under grace. The payment is blessed. The circulation is blessed. The heart is at peace. Now let us bless specific movements so the mind may be trained in peace. The money I pay for shelter is blessed. It returns to me as safety, warmth, rest, and divine order. The money I pay for food is blessed. It returns to me as nourishment, strength, and gratitude. The money I pay for service is blessed. It returns to me as support, ease, and right exchange. The money I pay toward obligations is blessed. It returns to me as freedom, order, and release. The money I give in love is blessed. It returns to me as multiplied good under grace. The money I invest in right expression is blessed. It returns to me as expansion, purpose, and divine fulfillment. Every payment is blessed when the word is blessed. Every payment is ordered when consciousness is ordered. Every payment is peaceful when the source is remembered. Every payment is circulation when fear is released. If an obligation feels heavy, do not curse it. Say, this too is placed under grace. If a payment feels large, do not worship its size. Say, infinite spirit is larger. If a debt feels old, do not call it permanent. Say, divine order dissolves this under grace. If expenses seem many, do not number them with fear. Say, every demand is met by the unfailing supply of God. Every demand is met by the unfailing supply of God. Again, every demand is met by the unfailing supply of God. Again, every demand is met by the unfailing supply of God. This is a restful word for the night. Every demand is met, not by your fear, not by strain, not by worshipping money, not by cursing obligations. Every demand is met by the unfailing supply of God. The word goes before you. It prepares the way. It speaks to the subconscious. It tells the body that payment does not mean danger. It tells the heart that divine order is stronger than the bill. It tells the mind that right action will be guided. Let this be the end of the old trembling. You may still act wisely. You may still keep order. You may still meet duties. You may still be guided to make decisions, but the trembling may end. The worship of outgoing money may end. The belief that every payment impoverishes you may end. The habit of cursing bills may end. The fear that money leaving your hand means God leaving your life may end. God does not leave when money moves. The source remains when the form changes. Divine supply remains when a payment is made. Infinite spirit remains when an obligation is met. The fountain remains full. The fountain remains full. The fountain remains full. Now rest in the fountain. Let the visible movement of money become less frightening. Let the heart stop chasing every coin as though it were the last good God could send. Let the hand open where it is guided to open. Let the word bless every outgoing. Let the mind stay with the source. If you have paid in fear before, bless it now. If you have cursed bills before, bless them now. If you have resented obligations before, bless and release the resentment now. If you have clutched money in terror, forgive yourself and place your money in divine order now. Every wrong relation may be healed by the right word. Every fearful movement may be redeemed by blessing. Every old pattern of depletion may be replaced by circulation under grace. I bless all money that goes forth from me. I bless all obligations being met. I bless all payments under divine order. I bless all circulation under grace. I bless all returns in perfect ways. I bless my own heart into peace. I bless my own hand into trust. I bless my own mind into divine order. Now, more softly, as sleep comes nearer, I release in faith. I circulate under grace. There is no loss. There is no fear. The source remains. The payment is blessed. The return is blessed. My money goes forth to bless. My money comes back blessed. Again, I release in faith. I circulate under grace. There is no loss. There is no fear. The source remains. The payment is blessed. The return is blessed. My money goes forth to bless. My money comes back blessed. Let these words loosen the body. Let the stomach unclench. Let the chest soften. Let the hands become peaceful. Let the mind stop seeing every outgoing as an enemy. The money that goes forth under grace is not your life leaving you. It is part of the movement of divine supply. Your life is in God. Your supply is in God. Your peace is in God. Money moves. God remains. And because God remains, you may pay without panic. You may release without dread. You may bless the outgoing as faithfully as you bless the incoming. You may meet obligations without calling them greater than divine law. You may let money circulate and still sleep in peace. I do not send money away in fear. I send it forth under grace. This payment is blessed, and it returns to me multiplied in perfect ways. There is no loss in divine mind. What I release in faith returns by divine law. My money goes forth to bless, and it comes back bless. Let this be the word over every bill. Let this be the word over every payment. Let this be the word over every obligation. Let this be the word over every sum that moves from your hand. Let this be the word over the whole flow of your financial life. Every blessed payment enters the law of circulation. Every blessed payment enters the law of circulation. Every blessed payment enters the law of circulation. Now the fear of paying grows quiet. The dread of bills grows quiet. The old feeling of being emptied grows quiet. The belief in loss grows quiet. Divine circulation takes its place. Divine order takes its place. Blessed movement takes its place. Peace takes its place. And in this peace, money may come and go under grace, but your soul remains with the source. Your soul remains with the source. Your soul remains with the source. And because the source is unfailing, you may rest. Now let the mind release the question of how. Let it release the narrow road it has been watching. Let it release the one door it has been pressing against. Let it release the one person, the one plan, the one expected letter, the one visible arrangement, the one human channel it has believed must be the way. There is such weariness in trying to dictate the channel. There is such strain in saying to infinite spirit, it must come this way, through this hand, by this hour, in this manner, and by no other. The frightened mind makes a little map and then trembles when divine intelligence does not follow it. But God is not confined to the map made by fear. I do not dictate the channel. I trust the source. Let this be the quiet door into rest. I do not dictate the channel. I trust the source. The channel is not God. The plan is not God. The visible path is not God. The person who may help is not God. The opportunity that appears obvious is not God. These may be instruments, and if they are divinely selected, they shall serve. But I do not make an idol of the instrument. I do not place my peace in one human road. I do not say, if this way fails, all good has failed. No, I say, infinite spirit has many ways, many doors, many messengers, many appointments, many ideas, and many perfect timings. I trust the source. The human mind so often suffers because it wants to know the way before it will rest. It says, if I knew how, I could have faith. If I knew where the money would come from, I could sleep. If I knew who would open the door, I could be calm. If I knew when the answer would arrive, I could stop fearing. But that is not faith. That is the senses asking for a receipt before they agree to trust. Faith rests before the road is visible. Faith says, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. Faith says, I do not see the way, but the way is known. Faith says, the right door opens, the wrong door closes, and I am at peace. Infinite intelligence knows the way where I see no way. Let that sentence be like cool water to the tired mind. Infinite intelligence knows the way where I see no way. When the mind has reached the end of its reasoning, infinite intelligence has not reached the end of its wisdom. When human channels appear closed, divine channels are not closed. When one door has remained silent, divine selection may be preparing another. When the visible road seems empty, an unseen appointment may already be moving toward you. When the answer cannot be calculated, it can still be revealed. There is a right way, and you need not force it. There is a right door, and you need not break it open. There is a right person, and you need not cling to the wrong one. There is a right idea, and you need not exhaust yourself repeating old anxious thoughts. There is a right hour, and you need not drag the future into the night with worry. There is a right action, and it will come with a certain calmness when the word has been spoken and the mind has become quiet enough to hear. Right action follows right word. This is a law of guidance. Many rush into action because fear has commanded them. They act not from wisdom, but from panic. They speak not from truth, but from pressure. They choose not from guidance, but from dread. Then they wonder why the way becomes more tangled. Fear hurries and confuses. Faith speaks, becomes still, listens, and then moves when divine intelligence gives the signal. Right action is not sluggish, but it is never frantic. It may be swift, but it is not desperate. It carries peace within it. If you do not know what to do tonight, do not make panic your advisor. Do not consult fear in the dark hours. Do not let the tired mind decide that only one extreme step can save you. Instead, speak the word and rest. Say, I am divinely led to right action at the right time. Say, infinite intelligence gives me the right idea and the courage to follow it. Say, the right door opens and the wrong door closes. Say, my appointed good cannot miss me. My appointed good cannot miss me. Let that word bring relief. My appointed good cannot miss me. It is not wandering without direction. It is not dependent upon the confusion of another. It is not lost in human delay. It is not defeated by one closed door. It is not frightened by time. It is not kept from me by the opinion of man. What is mine by divine right is governed by divine law, and divine law is not forgetful. My appointed good cannot miss me. When you believe your good can miss you, you begin to chase. You chase channels, chase people, chase explanations, chase signs, chase assurances. You exhaust the mind and disturb the inner waters. But when you know that your appointed good cannot miss you, you become peaceful and alert. You do not sleep through guidance, but neither do you strain for it. You do not ignore right action, but neither do you force wrong action. You become available to the divine appointment. Divine appointments are arranged. I have seen this law again and again. One person is moved to speak at the right moment, another is delayed, so that a better meeting may occur. A letter arrives after hope has released its tight grip. A door once thought necessary closes, and another opens with a naturalness that no human effort could have produced. A need is met through an unexpected channel. Because the expected channel had become an idol, a right idea comes in the quiet, after the mind stops insisting upon its old method. Infinite intelligence arranges what the anxious mind could never arrange. So tonight, do not force the channel. If one road has not opened, bless it and release it. If one person has not answered, bless them and release them. If one plan has not unfolded, bless it and release it. If one opportunity has passed, bless it and release it. Nothing that is yours by divine right can be lost through release. Non-resistance opens the way. Clinging to the wrong channel may delay the right one. Holding tightly to an unselected door may keep the hand too occupied to receive the key to the appointed door. The right door opens, the wrong door closes, and I am at peace. Let this become a lullaby of trust. The right door opens, the wrong door closes, and I am at peace. The door that belongs to my divine design opens under grace. The door that would bind, confuse, diminish, or delay my true good closes under grace. I do not curse the closed door. I bless it. I do not worship the open door. I bless it. I trust divine selection. I trust that infinite intelligence chooses rightly where my human preference may choose anxiously. The right door opens, the wrong door closes, and I am at peace. Again, the right door opens, the wrong door closes, and I am at peace. Again, the right door opens, the wrong door closes, and I am at peace. There is a deep rest in trusting divine selection. It saves the soul from pleading before every door. It saves the mind from bargaining with every channel. It saves the heart from despair when a thing not appointed falls away. Divine selection is the wisdom of infinite intelligence, choosing what truly belongs to your divine design. It may choose what surprises you. It may remove what you thought essential. It may bring supply through a way that seems simple, humble, ordinary, or unexpected. Do not despise the unexpected. The unexpected channel is often the appointed channel. Man often looks for supply through the door marked by his own imagination. He says it must come through this person, this work, this plan, this known road. But divine intelligence may have prepared another road entirely. A road quieter, cleaner, freer, more harmonious. A road that does not require begging. A road that does not require fear. A road that does not compromise the soul. A road that appears when resistance ends and the right word has been spoken. I do not dictate the channel. I trust the source. Again, I do not dictate the channel. I trust the source. Again, I do not dictate the channel. I trust the source. The mind may ask, but if I do not control the way, will anything happen? Yes, dear heart. The unseen law works more perfectly when it is not strangled by fear. Trust is not idleness. Trust is inner cooperation. Trust quiets the noise so guidance may be heard. Trust loosens the grip on false channels. Trust allows right action to arise without panic. Trust gives infinite intelligence room to reveal what human reasoning could not invent. You are not being asked to do nothing. You are being asked to stop doing the wrong thing in fear. You are not being asked to ignore life. You are being asked to cease forcing life through one narrow channel. You are not being asked to sit without action. You are being asked to let right action follow the right word. You are not being asked to become passive. You are being asked to become guided. There is a world of difference between passivity and surrender. Passivity says, nothing can be done and I collapse. Surrender says, infinite intelligence knows the way, and I become receptive to right action. Passivity is heavy. Surrender is alive. Passivity gives up hope. Surrender gives up fear. Passivity closes the eyes. Surrender opens the inner ear. Passivity delays. Surrender allows divine timing to unfold. Tonight we surrender the how. We do not surrender the good. We do not surrender divine right. We do not surrender the word of supply. We surrender the anxious demand that our good must arrive through the one channel our fear has chosen. We surrender the burden of arranging every detail with the human mind. We surrender the belief that if we cannot see the way, there is no way. We surrender the false responsibility of being our own source. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. Let that word rest upon the forehead, upon the eyes, upon the throat, upon the heart. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. You need not carry it into sleep. You need not turn it over again and again. You need not rehearse 10 possible roads and fear 9 of them. You need not keep the mind awake as though anxiety could build a bridge. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. The money may come through work, through an idea, through an appointment, through a repayment, through a gift, through a new opportunity, through a sale, through an introduction, through an inspiration, through a door you did not know existed, through a correction of an old delay, through a wise decision, through a sudden opening, through a quiet instruction, through expected and unexpected channels. You do not need to name them all. Infinite Spirit knows them all. I bless the known channels, and I bless the unknown channels. I bless the expected channels, and I bless the unexpected channels. I bless the visible ways, and I bless the invisible ways now being prepared. I bless the door I see, and I bless the better door I may not yet see. I bless the plan I understand, and I bless the divine plan that understands me. Let this be the expansion of consciousness. The frightened mind becomes narrow. Faith makes room. The frightened mind says, only this. Faith says, this or something better, under grace. The frightened mind says, now or never. Faith says, in divine timing, without delay and without strain. The frightened mind says, this person must help me. Faith says, infinite spirit sends the right person. The frightened mind says, if I cannot imagine it, it cannot be. Faith says, infinite intelligence knows the way where I see no way. When a channel closes, you may feel disappointment, and you need not condemn yourself for that. But do not let disappointment become doctrine. Do not let it say, my good is lost. Do not let it say, there is no other way. Do not let it say, God has forgotten me. Bless the channel, and return to the source. Say, if this was not the appointed way, I release it. If this was the appointed way, divine order restores it. My good is not dependent upon confusion. My good is governed by divine law. What is mine by divine right cannot be taken by a closed door. What is mine by divine right cannot be delayed by another's forgetfulness. What is mine by divine right cannot be lost because one path did not unfold. What is mine by divine right comes through the channel selected by infinite intelligence. Therefore I rest. My appointed good cannot miss me. Again, my appointed good cannot miss me. Again, my appointed good cannot miss me. Let this word dissolve comparison. Another's channel is not necessarily your channel. Another's road is not necessarily your road. Another's timing is not necessarily your timing. Another's form is not necessarily your form. Divine selection is exact. It does not confuse one person's appointed good with another's. Bless another's good and receive your own. Bless another's open door and trust yours. Bless another's supply and expect yours. There is enough in infinite spirit for every divine design. You need not imitate another's channel. You need not force another's way upon your life. You need not say, because it came that way for them, it must come that way for me. No, your way is known in divine mind. Your right expression is known. Your right work is known. Your right income is known. Your right appointments are known. Your right timing is known. Your right action is known. Infinite intelligence knows the way that belongs to you. I am divinely led to right action at the right time. Let this be the balance of rest and readiness. I am divinely led to right action at the right time. I do not rush in fear. I do not delay in fear. I am led. I do not speak in panic. I do not remain silent in cowardice. I am led. I do not force the door. I do not refuse the open door. I am led. I do not worship my plan. I do not despise the divine plan. I am led. There may come a moment when the right action is simple, a letter to write, a call to make, a room to enter, a conversation to accept, a task to complete, a price to name, a debt to arrange, a gift to receive, a service to offer, a place to go, a door to leave, a door to enter. Right action often appears as a quiet knowing, not a fearful compulsion. It has strength, but not hysteria. It has clarity, but not harshness. It has movement, but not strain. The right word prepares the consciousness for right action. If you speak fear, you may act from fear. If you speak supply, you prepare to recognize supply. If you speak divine order, you prepare to act in order. If you speak guidance, you prepare to hear guidance. If you speak trust, you prepare to walk without frantic grasping. This is why we speak before sleep. We are not merely soothing the mind. We are planting the word that will guide tomorrow's action. I am divinely led to right action at the right time. Again, I am divinely led to right action at the right time. Again, I am divinely led to right action at the right time. Tonight, there is no need to know tomorrow's action. Tonight, the action is rest, release, and right word. Tomorrow, if action is needed, it will be revealed. If speech is needed, the right word will come. If patience is needed, peace will hold you. If movement is needed, the door will open. If refusal is needed, divine wisdom will strengthen you. If acceptance is needed, divine love will make it clear. Let the mind stop trying to live tomorrow tonight. This hour has its own instruction. The instruction is trust. The instruction is release. The instruction is to stop forcing the channel. The instruction is to stop saying, if I cannot see it, it cannot happen. The instruction is to say, infinite intelligence knows the way where I see no way. In the silence, much can be arranged. In the silence, the right person may be moved. In the silence, a thought may be prepared. In the silence, an opportunity may be shaped. In the silence, a delay may be corrected. In the silence, an old obstruction may dissolve. In the silence, your own mind may be made ready to recognize what it would have missed in panic. The silence is not empty. The silence under faith is full of divine activity. You may think nothing is happening because you cannot see movement, but the root moves before the stem is seen. The tide turns before the shore reports it. The dawn begins before the sun is visible. Divine order often begins in the invisible. Do not disturb it with anxious digging. Do not say, "Show me now, or I shall fear." Say, "The law is working. Infinite intelligence knows the way. The appointed good is moving through appointed channels. The unexpected channel is often the appointed channel." Let that sentence make room in you. The unexpected channel is often the appointed channel. The good may come in a way that does not flatter your anxiety. It may come through a person you did not think of, an idea you almost overlooked, a small beginning you attempted to despise, a closed door that protected you, a delay that placed you in the right hour, a simple action that opened a larger way. Be awake but not anxious. Be receptive but not restless. Be faithful but not rigid. If supply does not come through the door you watched, do not declare failure. Say divine selection is at work. If money comes through a humble channel, do not despise it. Say, "I bless the appointed way." If the answer comes gradually, do not call it absence. Say divine order is unfolding. If the answer comes suddenly, do not call it accident. Say, infinite spirit has opened the way. If the answer comes through your own right action, do not call it merely effort. Say, "I was divinely led." Your good may come as money, or as an idea that produces money. It may come as work, or as a meeting that leads to work. It may come as relief from an obligation, or as wisdom to handle it. It may come as a gift, or as the courage to ask rightly. It may come as a door opening, or as a door closing that saves you from the wrong path. It may come as rest, so that the mind becomes clear enough to receive the next instruction. Do not limit good to one garment. Supply has many forms. I do not limit my good. I do not dictate the channel. I trust the source. Infinite intelligence knows the way. The right door opens. The wrong door closes. My appointed good cannot miss me. I am divinely led to right action at the right time. Let these words circle gently through the mind, not as a demand, but as a release, not as an effort to force manifestation, but as a surrender to divine order, not as a way of controlling the unknown, but as a way of resting in the one who knows. Now let the night take the how from your hands. Imagine placing every question of method upon an altar of light. How will the money come? Place it there. Who will open the way? Place it there. When will I know what to do? Place it there. Which door is right? Place it there. What if this channel fails? Place it there. What if I cannot see the answer? Place it there. Every how is placed upon the altar of infinite intelligence. And over that altar, speak. Infinite intelligence knows the way where I see no way. Again. Infinite intelligence knows the way where I see no way. Again. Infinite intelligence knows the way where I see no way. Now leave it there. Do not take it back. The mind may reach for it again from habit, but you may gently return it. No, dear mind, this belongs to infinite intelligence. No, dear heart, this is not yours to carry tonight. No, dear fear, you may not dictate the channel. The how belongs to God. The source has many channels. Divine order is working in silence. There is a profound rest that comes when the soul stops managing the universe. You were not made to manage all channels. You were made to speak the word, follow guidance, bless your good, and trust the source. You were not made to keep every door open by force. You were made to walk through the door that divine law opens. You were not made to decide every appointment by anxiety. You were made to meet divine appointments in peace. Divine appointments are arranged under grace. The right people are drawn. The wrong entanglements are dissolved. The proper words are given. The correct timing is established. The right work is revealed. The right money appears. The right opportunity is selected. The right decision is illuminated. You do not need to know the whole arrangement. You need only remain faithful to the word and obedient to the guidance as it comes. The right door opens, the wrong door closes, and I am at peace. The right person appears. The wrong dependence dissolves, and I am at peace. The right idea comes. The wrong fear fades, and I am at peace. The right money arrives. The wrong channel releases, and I am at peace. The right action is revealed. The wrong pressure falls away, and I am at peace. Let peace be the sign. Not all peace means no movement. Sometimes peace will guide you to act. Sometimes peace will guide you to wait. Sometimes peace will guide you to speak. Sometimes peace will guide you to be silent. Sometimes peace will guide you to receive. Sometimes peace will guide you to release. Peace is not always stillness of outer action. It is stillness of inner guidance. The action that comes from peace is different from the action that comes from panic. Before sleep, ask not, how shall I force this? Ask, what is the right word? The right word is this. Infinite intelligence knows the way. Ask not, which channel must I make obey? Ask, what is the source? The source is God. Ask not, what if this door closes? Ask, what is divine selection choosing? Divine selection chooses what belongs to me. Ask not, what if I miss my good? Say, my appointed good cannot miss me. My appointed good cannot miss me. Again, my appointed good cannot miss me. Again, my appointed good cannot miss me. This word does not make you careless. It makes you calm. It does not make you blind. It makes you receptive. It does not make you idle. It makes you available to right action. It does not remove responsibility. It removes fear from responsibility. It allows you to act from divine center, rather than from scattered anxiety. If the mind insists, but I must know, answer, I know enough to rest. I know God is the source. I know infinite intelligence knows the way. I know divine order is working. I know my appointed good cannot miss me. I know I am divinely led to right action at the right time. That is enough for tonight. That is enough for sleep. That is enough for peace. I know enough to rest. Let that be a gentle word. I know enough to rest. I do not know every channel, but I know the source. I do not know every step, but I know the guide. I do not know every hour, but I know divine timing. I do not know every person, but I know divine appointment. I do not know every form, but I know divine supply. I know enough to rest. Again, I know enough to rest. Again, I know enough to rest. Let the body release the labor of trying to foresee everything. Let the eyes rest from searching. Let the hands rest from gripping. Let the brow rest from planning. Let the heart rest from demanding a visible guarantee. The guarantee is not in the visible channel. The guarantee is in divine law. The guarantee is in the unfailing source. The guarantee is in the word spoken under grace. The guarantee is in the fact that infinite intelligence knows the way. Now the mind becomes spacious again. It no longer stands before one door in despair. It stands in a great field of divine possibility. It says, this or something better. It says, this way or the appointed way. It says, this channel or the divine channel. It says, this timing or perfect timing. It says, I release the narrow demand and receive the larger good. This or something better now comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Let that be the word of release. This or something better now comes to me under grace in perfect ways. If this is mine, it comes. If something better is mine, it comes. If this door is right, it opens. If another door is right, it opens. If this channel is appointed, it serves. If another channel is appointed, it appears. I do not lose by trusting divine selection. I gain freedom. This or something better now comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Again, this or something better now comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Again, this or something better now comes to me under grace in perfect ways. There is no need to argue with the unseen. There is no need to hurry the law. There is no need to measure divine activity by the restlessness of the mind. Speak the word, bless the channels, release the how, and rest. If there is something to do, you will be guided. If there is something to say, you will be given the word. If there is somewhere to go, the way will become clear. If there is someone to meet, the appointment will be arranged. If there is something to release, peace will show you. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. The channel belongs to divine selection. The timing belongs to divine order. The action belongs to divine guidance. The supply belongs to God, and the rest belongs to you tonight. Let the how be carried by the one who knows. Let the channel be selected by the one who sees. Let the timing be arranged by the one who is never late. Let the action be revealed by the one who guides. Let the supply come from the one who is inexhaustible. And let your soul rest. I do not dictate the channel. I trust the source. Infinite intelligence knows the way where I see no way. The right door opens, the wrong door closes, and I am at peace. My appointed good cannot miss me. I am divinely led to right action at the right time. Now softer. I trust the source. The way is known. The right door opens. My good cannot miss me. I am led. Again. I trust the source. The way is known. The right door opens. My good cannot miss me. I am led. And again very quietly. I trust. The way is known. The door opens. My good comes. I am led. Now let the night hold what you have released. Let the invisible work without interference. Let divine intelligence arrange what the tired mind cannot. Let the appointed channels be blessed. Let the wrong channels fall away without grief. Let the right people be moved. Let the right ideas rise. Let the right action be prepared. Let the right money appear. Let the right timing establish itself. You need not know how before you sleep. You need only know who knows. Infinite intelligence knows the way. And because infinite intelligence knows the way, you may rest. And now, dear heart, let the whole matter rest. The word has been spoken. The desire has been blessed. The old fear has been dismissed. The anxious picture has been released. The right image has been placed in divine mind. The channel has been surrendered. The timing has been given to divine order. The action will be revealed at the appointed hour. There is nothing more to force tonight. Rest now in the quiet certainty that infinite spirit knows the way. Rest in the law that does not sleep. Rest in the wisdom that arranges what the human mind cannot arrange. Rest in the love that selects rightly, protects gently, opens the right door, closes the wrong door, and brings every appointed good under grace in perfect ways. Do not carry the burden into sleep. Cast it upon the Christ within, and go free. The how is not your burden tonight. The hour is not your burden tonight. The channel is not your burden tonight. The form is not your burden tonight. Your part is faith. Your part is peace. Your part is the word rightly spoken. Your part is quiet expectancy. Your part is to rest while divine law works in silence. What is yours by divine right cannot miss you. If it is yours, it comes. If it is not yours, something better appears. If the door is right, it opens. If the door is wrong, it closes in protection. If the person is appointed, divine love establishes harmony. If not, divine love releases and reveals the right relation. If the channel is chosen, it flows. If not, infinite spirit opens another channel. Nothing true is lost. Nothing divine is withheld. Nothing appointed can pass you by. This or something better now comes to you under grace in perfect ways. Let the body soften around that truth. Let the hands release. Let the shoulders release. Let the breath become quiet. Let the mind stop searching. Let the heart stop watching in fear. Let the whole life be gathered under divine order. Your love is under divine order. Your supply is under divine order. Your health is under divine order. Your work is under divine order. Your home is under divine order. Your peace is under divine order. Your direction is under divine order. Your success is under divine order. Your whole life is arranged under grace in perfect ways. Now give thanks before you see. Give thanks not to persuade, not to bargain, not to force the unseen, but because the good is already complete in divine mind. Gratitude is the fragrance of faith. Thanksgiving seals the word. The heart that thanks before seeing has already entered the room of fulfillment. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, for the way now opening. Thank you for the right door selected by divine wisdom. Thank you for the right person, the right word, the right idea, and the right hour. Thank you for the desire purified by divine love. Thank you for the appointed good, now taking form under grace. Thank you that divine law works in silence while I sleep. Thank you that I am led, protected, provided for, loved and guided. Thank you that the burden is lifted. Thank you that the seed is planted. Thank you that the way is known. Now there is no need to beg. There is no need to plead. There is no need to repeat fear in the dark. Bless and release. Speak the light. Let peace open the gate. Let the word remain in consciousness like a lamp burning softly through the night. The old prophecy is finished. The new word has begun. The picture of fear is dissolved. The picture of divine fulfillment remains. The seed is not disturbed. The right door opens without strain. The appointed good appears in appointed time. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. The whole life is under grace. And now, sleep. Sleep as one who has placed the matter in faithful hands. Sleep as one who knows that the source is awake. Sleep as one who does not need to force the dawn. Sleep as one who has spoken the word and may now rest in the law. Infinite Spirit knows the way. Divine order is established. Divine selection is choosing. Divine timing is exact. Divine love is guiding. Divine law is working. And all is well. Let the final word be peace. Peace in the mind. Peace in the heart. Peace in the body. Peace in the home. Peace in the path. Peace in the desire. Peace in the waiting. Peace in the receiving. Peace under grace. Rest now. The word is spoken. The way is open. The good is coming. The heart is quiet. The night is blessed. It is done under grace, in perfect ways. And so it is.